And good evening, everybody. I can't, always get my tongue tangled up. It's stupid earbuds. Good evening, everybody. And we are live. We are here, and we are spanning the globe. Sorry, I hear an echo on this thing, and it's driving me crazy. Uh, this show is going to be a little bit different tonight. We had a guest lined out, and he's MIA for some reason. So we're going to wing it tonight. And two of the other co-hosts, one couldn't make it tonight. The other one has a power outage, and he's not sure if he'll make it on. He might be on later. So joining me tonight is our regular referee Iron Man James Lawrence. That's a mouthful. And joining us tonight, he's been on the show before, Mr. Russ Miller.
Hello.
Glad to have you both on.
Thank you.
Let's get
Glad to
the
be back.
viewers here. Michael Cannon, that's a distant relative of mine.
If you guys hear my dogs
Where's
barking in the background, I'm sorry, but every time I sit down to do something, they got to make noise.
Ah,
I was gonna say mine. If you hear mine doing the same, they're both in here with me. So
There's
the one that's
nothing
usually in
going
here
on.
whining isn't in here tonight, so I don't know
We've
what's up
gotten
with that.
all this snow and ice all day, and they've been totally quiet. And the second I come in here and sit down and turn this on, they got to start
Yeah.
barking.
Oh, exactly, yeah. Good evening, Duarte. Good evening, Drew.
Hey guys,
Is
how are you?
everybody,
what's
is
going
everybody
on?
Nor? Who we're going to get on the show in the future. Glad to have you, Mike. Big Mike, I guess we'd call you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Ben,
Big
maybe
Ben,
have you
what's
join
up?
us here in a little bit if you want to. There's Nathan. Nathan's trying to locate my guest. And, One Legacy Reserve, another friend of mine. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. This is my new setup back behind me. Let me go back to my. I can get the banners going here.
What site is it? World of Belts?
Wide World of Belts.
Wide World of Belts? Somebody asked me and they want to listen, so I'm going to tell them.
Oh, okay, yeah. I get confused with. There's another group called Worldwide Belts. That's not it. You want Wide World of Belts, which is this one right here. And then, as always, we lost James apparently.
Well, he is a referee after all.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Easy
And
distraction.
the banner refers to the guest, and the guest is not here. So, as always, this show is sponsored by Mark Leather for all your re-leathering needs, and of course, Unique Spirit Championship Belts, who made the giveaway belt, which I'll show again here in a little bit. And this podcast, the subscription for StreamYard, we get the premium subscription now, so we can do a lot more things, and that's made possible by a partnership with the Brothers in Kayfabe podcast on your Apple Podcast and other places where you listen to podcasts. This Linktree whatever that is. I keep on saying Linktree, but there's a period in the middle of that. That's the way it's typed out.
Are you there, fellas?
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, we hear you, James. Now I want to. Oh, we lost.
I'm going again.
This is the funny thing about live. So I want to talk about the setup here. I got more light in here too, by the way. I painted this wall. This bedroom, I'm in the bedroom, and this bedroom had chocolate brown walls. Still does. There's two walls I have yet to paint. I got this one and the one straight across from me painted. Let me get to my pictures here. This was my setup before. I set the show up in front of this thing. There's a chocolate brown wall. There you put you back. That's what we had. Now I sold that Detolf. That Detolf made its last appearance on the show last week, and I moved across the room to this area. And we gave our dresser to my daughter and got rid of her dresser, and I moved the gun safe where the Detolf was. So we emptied that wall and painted it. I painted that. It's hard to paint over chocolate brown, believe it or not.
Yes.
So then I bought these cubes and set up my belts on that. And then, of course, my BAM coins are on top. I took two of the shelves. I added two glass shelves to that Detolf, and I took those out when I sold it and put them on top of the cube so I could set my coin collection on there. And this is what it looks like with the tonight. That's what it looks like tonight. So, anyway. And I want to get to the belt of the week. Tyler Dove, glad to have you.
Tyler Dove. What's up, Tyler?
There's a name you see in the hobby quite often. in a good way. It's nice to say that. I'm going to show off the belt of the week. It's been shown before, probably pretty recently, but I was so busy painting this room and setting all this up and some other things. It's just been a very busy week for me, so I didn't get a chance to shoot a new belt of the week. So I'm gonna show the one I've shown before, and this is my Crumrine, which is this one right here behind me, which y'all have seen before, but it's got more light now. Where's my video at? I'm so organized tonight. Had a show planned, so we're winging it. So here is the belt of the week. This is a Crumrine by Big Gold by Rizwan Mirza. The beginning of that video was incorrect. That had the AWA inmate on there. So
That's what I was thinking. I saw that. I'm like, okay, somebody's having an off day.
This has just not been a good show so far. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
The couple days I had some sort of food poisoning or stomach bug.
I saw that
from Tuesday night to this morning, and I'm telling you what, I have never been that sick. I mean, I can barely turn my head. It hurts so bad. My back and neck are so sore from being sick.
Do you know what you got it from? Where you ate?
I had something here. We had some spinach artichoke dip from Sam's.
Oh, okay.
And that was the last thing I ate. And then in the morning, getting in the shower before class, I was so sick. And I made it through class. I had to leave class a couple times to get sick. And then I went, and I came home and I was sick the entire. I even laid down in the afternoon, slept for 2 hours. It was horrible. My father-in-law's funeral was yesterday. So, I slept through a part of it because I was just so worn out. Yeah. I'm much better today. I've actually eaten today. I didn't eat it all yesterday. I attempted to in the morning, and then it was just awful. Yeah. And then today I'm much, much better. Thank you for everybody that message and everything. I appreciate it. And,
good deal. It's just sorry for your loss, by the way.
It was, I'm saying he actually passed in December. Okay. Right before I went down to take care of my father, to see my father. And so there was a whole bunch of, it's always red tape when there's a death.
Yeah.
So they had to deal with that. And they got all straightened out. And my wife flew down the other day, and then she'll be back Saturday. So I got a little free time tonight, and I'm actually in her spot in the kitchen. So I got a little free time to do my little, but yeah, I still don't feel 100%, but tomorrow I'll be at work despite this weather.
This comment right here, Russ, maybe you can weigh on this, no pun intended. But you've held real belts before.
Oh yeah.
And when you compare that to the weight of, let's say, a replica, for example, let's say a Rizwan, does the weight compare, or there's more weight to a ring used belt?
The ring used belts are just, they're made the same way that a regular belt is, so it has the weight to it. The only thing is they're more dinged up and beat up. Now, the whole thing of, again, I don't like to really diss on anybody, but I think it's kind of goofy. If you're going to spend the money to act like these things are real, spend the money and get a real belt.
Yeah.
I get, and when people, and we've had this discussion before, they tell me they can't afford, or they can't deal. Back when I was making no money, I still figured out ways. I saved my money. I didn't go out to eat. I just did whatever I could. Yeah. Because I wanted the real thing. Now I have replicas, and I have bootlegs, and I have all that stuff, and and I have the real belts too. But why are you spending something, or your money on something that's not real, and then pretending that it is?
Yeah.
Now, granted, even a a winged eagle made by Dave or Reggie, that's technically not the real deal because
Right.
it's not the ring used, but it's still made the same and it's built the same and it's put together the same.
Yeah.
These replicas are supposed to be replicas. Adding the weights to it, all that. That's like, putting $10,000 rims on a Yugo.
Yeah.
It just is. And, and again, I don't mean to diss on anybody that makes money by reload or restoning, but when you take these cheap belts and you want to try to make it real and you're spending all this money on putting it into this, it's still not the same thing.
Right.
That being said, I don't, if you're making money at it or enjoying your hobby, that's your prerogative. Again, that's just my view. And if I'm asked, that's what I tell people.
Right. I'm looking at here. Okay. I was looking at the group. We're up to 838 members as it stands right now. And, as I've said before many times, I'll keep saying it till we get there. Once we reach 1,000 members, I'm going to have a belt giveaway, and I'm going to have the giveaway for this belt right here, which I showed last week. I don't have the video to show again, so I just have to show the belt. This was made by Unique Spirit. The plates were, and I did the leather on this. This is an oxblood strap. Let me move this microphone out of the way. There we go. And then the back, here's the back with the, it's got the logo plate on it, or property plate, however you. But I love that oxblood. What do you think of the oxblood?
That's pretty cool looking.
And then the backing is blue. It's get the right,
Cool.
right angle. You see the blue backing.
Yeah, it's hard to see the blue.
Yeah, let me unsnap it. Maybe it'll show up. It's hard to see in this light too, but it really looks nice in person. And it looks black in this picture, but there's no
Very
way
nice.
to get the blue. There you
Your
go.
leather is great. I mean, your send out straps you gave me and the 2 belts you did for me, I love it. You do
Good.
very nice work.
Good. I'm just glad I didn't do that plate.
I can't believe we missed that. I just
I can't either. When you said that, when you asked me about that, I thought you talked about this US I got over here. I thought, oh crap, did I get the wrong one? And then then I went and looked at the picture and saw that, and I was like, oh wow, I can't believe I didn't see that.
I had the belt for a month and maybe longer, and I got it right before I think I left. And so it's been almost 2 months, and I'm playing with it. I had it up, carrying it around, and then I was trying to sell it to somebody, and they saw it, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "You're kidding!" And I went and looked at it. I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe."
Oh, they told you. You didn't even notice it. They told
I
you.
didn't even notice it. Nope, never saw it.
Yeah. And I cleaned those plates before I sent it back to you, and I still didn't see it.
And then the whole funny part of it is again, I don't much like a lot of y'all. I don't take that belt, and I'll just take it like this. I have one of these sitting here. This is mine. I don't take the belt and start going like this the second I get it.
No, I don't either.
And I feel like a lot of people do that. And I can't stand the mark part of it. It just drives me insane because it's a belt made for professional wrestling. And if you want to be like a wrestler and you want to think that way, they don't go nuts for that stuff.
Yeah.
It's made for the promotion. Even the owners, Vince, does not do that. Crockett never did that. I guarantee they don't care. As long as the belt looks good for TV, that's what they want.
Right.
But all these people going so crazy over every little minute thing, I'm just not that OCD or ADHD enough to really even bother with it. If it sits on the shelf and you have people over, 99 out of 100 people will never be able to pick anything apart.
Yeah.
I've showed that US belt to 15 people here. Ain't nobody saw the S.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't either, and I cleaned those plates before I sent it back to you. I had the best look at it, and I just never noticed.
You know what? Because the plates were very nice.
Yeah.
The plates were very nice. They just,
were.
like I said, a skosh too big.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, but still, Asif did a nice job. That CNC on the Dome Globe is really nice. Just the plates are just a skosh too big, as you found out when you were doing the Dome Globe.
Well, they weren't quite proportional either.
Right. They're a little bit different.
But beautiful. It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah. They're very nice.
Put that back over here. By the way, I've got another one of these NWA TVs for sale, which I'll show here in a little bit. I got a couple of belts for sale.
I like that giveaway belt. There was something that's glaring to me when you put it up there, so I don't want to ruin anybody's fun for it. So I'm not gonna.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But it's nice that you're giving that away. I think whoever gets it will be very happy and enjoy it and have fun with it, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and he's made some adjustments since I got that. So.
Oh, and that's there's artwork adjusting. There's all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. He was real good to follow my suggestions. So, Dustin or Ben or both of you, would you like to come on the show? I'll send you a link. Just let me know. Just comment on the show. Um, and Dustin brought up a good point. The logo plates. A lot of people don't like those. I don't think they even had those back when I watched wrestling back in the '80s. I don't think any belt had a property plate on it.
No,
And
not
I
the
always
NWA
thought,
especially.
didn't WWF start that?
Yeah, I think it was the. I got to think now. The WrestleMania 1 tags, no. The Intercontinental, no. The first Bulldog tags, no. Maybe the Winged Eagle was the first one. I'd have to think and look.
I always thought that was for collectors.
It's just an accent piece, just like the tips.
Yeah. And my thing on the belt tips, everybody has their opinion on belt tips.
Yeah.
My opinion on that is if the original belt had a belt tip, I want a belt tip. I don't want a belt tip just because. And
a lot of the makers, though, make them with the logo plates and with the tips. And I've even run across it where I've asked, don't put this on there. I don't want. And then they show me the belt they made for me. He goes, I'm putting this out there. I'm like, great, it's got a logo plate and a tip on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to argue with them. But you know what? Because if they charge me X amount and then they add that and I paid the X amount for the regular, hey, that's fine. It's going to sit on my shelf regardless.
As a matter of fact, I got a couple of belt tips for sale. I took them off the belts I got. And the belt tips I get from overseas are too thick. They're too heavy.
Yeah. Yes.
And, you're always worried about them slapping against the side plates when you fold the belt. And so what I do is I take those off. I'll order them from WrestlingSuperstore.com, and they're like the original WWE shop. They're thinner. And they're also...
do they just cover the tip, or is it like kind of full like Reggie's was?
It's a full tip.
Okay.
It's got a front that wraps over the edge of the belt, around the end and over the edges, and there's a back plate.
Yeah, it should just slip in.
Yeah, well, it doesn't slip in. It's got a back plate that screws together.
Oh, see, I hate that.
It's just like the WWE shop.
Yeah, I don't like this. No, but their tips are a lot thinner, so they're not too bad.
Tyler, I don't know. There was a guy that told me about a couple of Amazon belts he was looking at. One of them was both of them were Dome Globes. One was like 113, one was 99, and I'd be real leery of that. I know one had the wrong strap; it wasn't laced. It had didn't have the round end on it. It had the square end, like on Stevie belt. Yeah, you got to be real careful about Amazon. Well, not Amazon, but eBay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, belt. I don't know. I've never seen those on Amazon.
eBay's horrible now. There's so many scammers on there. There's so many. Yeah. That's why I don't even go on there anymore, because, and not only that, but they rape you on every charge.
Yeah.
I bought a belt on there. Oh, it's got to be 2 years ago now. I've got it downstairs. It was a belt that I actually had and I had sold. Now, by now, it's been 12 years ago, and I saw it pop back up because it's one I always wish I'd never sold. And I got it back. I think I paid the guy $1,500, which was more than I wanted to pay. And then when I paid him, I got taxed $200.
Golly.
So I'm like, shit. So I paid $1,700 for a belt that, well, I probably sold it for that originally back when I sold it. But, I'm glad I have it back, and, it sits on my shelf downstairs because it was a really cool belt. I paid $1,700 for.
Welcome to the show, Dustin. Dustin King.
Thank you. Give me a second. I was on a delay, so I was listening to Russ.
Something's wrong with this picture, because I got cubes full of belts behind me and you don't. What's up with that?
I thought I told you. So I posted it. I had to. I lost my.
I know
office.
the story, but
yeah, I lost my office. My son moved back into the house in December,
right.
So this is my living room. This is my office now.
Yeah, I knew the story, but I know most of the viewers didn't. So I don't
show mine because I have stuff that I don't want copied.
True. I've got a couple belts that way. I've had a lot of people request close-up photos of some specific belts, and I won't do it.
No.
Somebody mentioned belts on Amazon. No, not that. Right here.
I've heard horror stories, so I try to avoid.
These two network logo belts I bought off Amazon, but it's WWE shop on Amazon.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't even know where my mic is.
I hear you fine.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Well, I will say the only tip I give away is only one tip, but it's not for any of you guys.
That's just for my wife.
Well, yeah, mine's for your what? No, I'm just kidding. I got to be nice. I just paid Dustin some money, so I got to behave.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So for all the kids out there watching this, we're talking about belt tips.
Sorry.
I know.
Hey, Shawn Michaels was my hero. What do you want?
Oh yeah.
Him and Austin and Brett.
Yeah. There you
and
go.
Rick.
Yeah. I bought this mask up here. I've had this mask for about 2 or 3 years. I bought it at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's a superstar mask, and I never had a styrofoam head for it till just the other day. I just got that in, so
You should have just messaged Al Snow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Got it off
like
of
that.
Amazon
I've
for
got those.
15
I've been
bucks.
meaning to get one for my 2 crowns. I need to get a couple of those.
Yeah.
So I can
They
just-
come in
got a
handy.
Lawler crown. I've got a Lawler crown I've had for about 15 years.
I like to get a real mask. This is not. This was like
Who
some
done
guy
your
made.
Lawler crown?
It's from the lady that did them before she passed.
Crowns by
Mark.
TJ?
Yeah, I can't remember. Dave Milliken sent it to me.
Okay. Because I had mine done 2 years ago, and it was
Mark, do it.
crownsbycj.com.
Mark James.
Um,
I think Mark James does his stuff now.
yeah, I think that's the name, but
Mark's a great guy.
the website's no longer active.
Yeah, Mark's a great guy.
Yeah, is he from Tennessee? I
Or is it
believe?
Chris? I think it's Chris that does them. Chris James.
Chris James, CJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crowns by CJ, yeah.
Yeah, great. I mean, great brothers. I mean, I know both of them. They're super guys. They're good friends with a lot of people that I know.
Yeah, I
They're
don't,
big into Mid-South wrestling.
okay. Yeah, I don't think he's doing them anymore because his website's no longer active.
I'd have to ask him. I haven't talked to him in a while. But, you know, with my job and with school and with a lot of stuff going on with my dad, like, I don't, unless it comes close to a wrestling show like Charlotte or something, I don't really, we'll talk here and there, me and some, but a lot of times I don't get involved because I'm in the middle of other stuff. So like 3-4 weeks out from a convention like that, then we start trying to connect and bond and see who's going to bring what alcohol.
How to get some water. Are you in Charlotte, Russ?
No, I live in Columbus, Ohio.
My eventual goal is I just moved up to Tacoma, Washington a year ago.
Jesus.
My eventual goal is within the next 2 to 4 years to be in either Columbia, South Carolina, or Charlotte, North.
There you go. Charlotte's growing at a rapid rate.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm looking at Columbia, because it's not as fast, but it's still close enough to where you can enjoy everything.
That's the
Rocket
home of Fort
territory.
Jackson.
I need to find someplace a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, Washington's expensive.
Seattle, Tacoma is crazy.
Yeah, I got friends out there.
Yeah, I'll enjoy the equity I'm building, and then I'll move somewhere else.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Listen, Tyler Dove wants you to move to Columbia, South Carolina. He wants to hook up with you.
Columbia is one of the places I was looking at.
I told you about that red NWA TV ad for sale. I've also got this Luger US. Yeah, this is the sales portion of our show. I'd really like to find a home for this one. I've got another one that's in process. Again, these were made by Unique Spirit. And then I did the leather on this one. It's got the, where'd it go? Can't see the screen.
It looks like the good tooling too.
Yeah, it's a TV accurate tooling. I did stamp the NWA on one end of it, and then on the other end, this is my own little trademark. I stamped a little American flag on it.
There you go.
So this is marked leather.
I remember when Nikita destroyed that belt under the ring post.
I hated that. This is
Yeah,
my
that-
second favorite version of that
That
belt.
was very upsetting.
Yeah, even as a kid. By that time, I was what, 1990, 91?
Yep.
I think it was 91.
I was in my late teens, but I remember that because I was not happy with the changeover from Crockett NWA
Buck?
to WCW, and that was like the last vestige of the NWA, and it got destroyed, and I was just like,
But this belt's for sale for $375 shipped. So if you're interested, let me know.
Looks like a great belt too. Can't beat the
It's
price on
very
your
nice.
leather.
I've got another one I'm working on right now, just like it.
So Russ has got me all freaked out about my dome globe, so I'm thinking about selling that and ordering another new one.
Me? What did I freak you out about?
Well, we were just discussing sizes,
Oh,
and I knew mine was bigger than what it should have been, but I guess I didn't realize how much bigger it was.
Again, we're talking about belts, people.
Yeah.
how big is yours?
So I'll go grab it real quick and show you guys. It's the same exact size as the Figures Inc. belt.
Yeah.
I'll grab it and show you. Hold on.
Yeah, the one I got was hey, don't get me wrong, the plates are beautiful. but and Mark leathered them. The size was just off, and the purport they just weren't the right. Which happens with a lot of the guys over there. Their sizes are off.
Yeah, there's no standard sizing with those guys.
Well, and for me, I'm not measuring anything and giving anybody any measurements because that's just not how I operate. I'll buy the belt if it's right. If not, I'll sell it when I get it.
This is
the 2 belts he leathered for me are awesome.
This is my Figs Inc. I'll get to you just a second, Dustin. Just real quick. Let me show this off. This is not for sale. This is my very first replica. And I did not leather this one. Ryan Stokes leathered this one.
That was the one that came with the leather with the
lacing.
lace strap. Yeah, the real stiff one.
Yeah. Anyway,
I have one of those too.
He did a really nice job on this.
Mine's nice too. The one you did the leather for me, where you sent me the strap.
Well, thank you. All right, Dustin, your turn.
So mine is exactly the same size plates as yours. This was made by Mateen. Somebody, I don't know who, sent the Figures Inc. belt to him, and he was able to make a CNC copy of it after they discontinued it. So this is the same exact size. So this is his 3D printed CNC. Hopefully you guys can see it well.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
He's done a great job with it. The only difference between yours and mine, Mark, is yours has that stones here where the diamond should be, and mine has a plastic cover above it.
Okay. Yeah, mine doesn't. It's really hard. I thought it was just a black stone, but it's supposed to be like the crushed stones, like what was on the original belt.
Yeah.
It's just too dark. I've thought about painting these silver, but I'm not going to mess with it.
Yeah. I've had to mess with a few belts here in the last year that I've sold. And again, it goes back to the whole, even the lines on some of the globes on some of the belts I've sold. Oh, can you take that paint just off the lines? It just doesn't look right. I'm like, oh my God.
How about you?
I'm like, if that bothers you, I told my wife this the other day. I was taking her to the airport and we were talking about the belts, and she doesn't talk a lot about them. And I said, you know what? The way people get about these belts, if you're half as good with a woman the way you worry about these belts, nobody should have any problems. But God, they think about the belts more than they think about women.
Yeah, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you mix the belts.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I've had so many people nitpick small little details about them. And like you had said earlier, Russ, about, the people that'll get it and they'll just start going through every small little detail. Oh, it has a scratch right here, has this right there. I think the most common thing I run into with the NWA World title is I get so many people say, well, how much does it weigh?
Yeah.
Well, it's about 4 pounds. Well, I need it to be 10 pounds. Well, the original belt was made of trophy metal. The original belt weighed about 4 pounds. I'm maybe 6 pounds, right? But so many people, they hear that 10 pounds of gold and they think that the real thing was 10 pounds.
What they don't understand is it's kayfabe. It's all made up. It wasn't
exactly.
really freaking gold, guys.
A lot of people don't comprehend that everything was kayfabe.
Right.
It wasn't really made of gold. It was made of trophy metal, guys.
And it did cost $45,000.
Well, it also had steel plating behind the plates.
Right.
Yeah.
I might have said this in another podcast. I actually have a picture of Tully Blanchard and Baby Doll, with the silver US, and one of them's got the strap with the plate on it, and the other one's got the front of the plate. Like there's two pieces.
Wow.
Like somebody in the match had dinged something and it came apart.
Man.
And I remember telling Reggie that story, and he goes, "Really?" I said, "Oh yeah, I've got that. I found it somewhere, and I saved it right away."
Wow. I'd be interested to see that. That'd be kind of cool.
If I can find it's on one of my zip drives.
Dustin, that Dome Globe you got there, does Mateen get a lot of orders for that? Because that's a beautiful belt.
No, because it's a little bit more expensive than a standard belt.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember what it sells for, but if you're looking for, and with the Fandu coming out with the new Dome Globe, it really kind of slowed it down. Same with Crumrine orders. Once Fandu came out with their big gold, their Crumrine, people aren't ordering as many of the Pakistan ones because it takes a while to make them. But no, it's a beautiful belt. I've got another one. Excuse me. I've got another one being finished up right now. That's going to go on the red velvet, but it's the same size. So the sizing is off. But
Yeah, I remember you told me what he charged for that belt, but it's been so long I forgot.
Yeah, I mean,
But I've
I
been
can
telling
put it
people
up.
about it because if
Yeah.
you're a fan of the '80s version of that title, that's the one you want right there.
Yeah.
It also wasn't curved very much. You
It's
know,
just
the
a
newer
little,
belts are curved.
the figures belt's just a little bit larger.
Yeah, and this is pretty flat. It's got the nice dome on it. Let you guys see that.
Not too
And
domey.
Mateen does really good leather. You know,
Did McKean start on mine already?
I believe no. So Mateen just got back from Dubai this morning, so
Okay.
he hasn't started yet.
Okay,
But
I'll
it will
hit you
be-
up later. Don't let him start it yet. I got a question. I'll talk to you about it later on.
Okay,
Oh, Richard.
sounds good. Yeah, he was in Dubai for about a week.
I think you told me
Did a little
that.
bit over. Yeah, with his brother, investing in some new equipment, and then just having a good time. He had a blast. And
Yeah, there's some differences between that one and the Premier, just very slight.
Well,
okay,
If you look at them.
I got my Premier right here.
I've got to
Yeah.
say, I've got mine
well,
right
yeah, we
here.
just have to ask James. James has like 15 dome gloves, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm about to catch up with him.
Hold on one second.
I've got
Actually,
I
four.
got mine right here.
Now, see, that's the
yeah.
wrong size, but I think the Figures Inc.'s artwork is more correct.
Oh yeah, the wrestlers you can't hardly they look like an ink blot.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the removable nameplate, and it's also on the Australian flag. It's the darker blue.
Yeah.
It is
that
way
doesn't-
darker. The dome
It's
is a
got
lot
it's
more
got actual
pronounced, too.
stones. It's got an actual stone there, one solid
Yeah.
stone, not the ground stones. But and I did the leather on this one, but I'm going to do it again because I put the snaps too far apart. See how wide they are here. I'm going to
Oh,
redo
that's,
that.
that's
The
another
dome-
thing too. When people start, even when I buy and sell, they're like, "Take a picture of the backing. Take a picture of the snaps. Take a picture." Oh my god!
Yeah.
I just don't understand that.
The dome is a lot more pronounced than the figures too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That plate, the Premier plate's also a solid plate, and that dome is hollow behind there.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the Premier is a lot thicker too. I think this is like 6 millimeters.
Yeah,
I mean, it's huge.
The main plate's smaller on the Premier. The plates are
Yeah.
smaller, but
Yeah, the plates are more accurate to the original, the size wise.
Yeah. Oh.
I believe so. Anyway.
take 'em off. I've heard different things. I've heard the Figs is closer. I've heard the Premier's closer. I don't really know. The measurements are not in the book, and I've got the book.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's somebody
Yeah,
here.
they're not
Somebody
in
here
there.
says Figs is closer to the original, so I don't know.
So I know
Well,
that.
I would say the figs is just because they actually included the lacing. I don't know about the size. I think the Premier size is probably closer to the original
Yeah.
than what the figs is. But yeah, I mean there's different things about each of them that they I like the artwork on the figs a lot better. I don't have a figs. I wish I did have one. I think the artwork's a lot better on it. You can definitely see the grapplers down in the corner. They don't look
Yeah.
like a little sketch. They actually, have definition to them on the figs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, coming from somebody who kind of has an obsession with that belt anyway, yeah, I would.
Yeah, I never mentioned. You never mentioned that.
No, not me, not at all.
No, never. I could never tell.
Let's see. I got a picture of both mine.
Now I did get mine. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Oh, let me pull it.
Autograph.
Let me get you on full screen. I was looking at my phone.
Who's that? Tommy Rich?
Tommy Rich.
All 5
Yeah.
days of him.
Yeah.
All 5.
He's a nice guy too.
Yeah.
Tommy's a total hillbilly, but a great guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's still kind of wild.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
He still likes to get a little bit fired up, as he likes to say.
He got in an argument with my dad one time in Charlotte for like 2 hours, arguing with him that he wrestled him twice. And my dad's like, "No, I'm just his dad. I never wrestled." And Tommy just kept insisting. Tommy, we really finally other wrestlers had to come up and tell him, "No, that's not him," which was funny.
I'm working on pictures.
Yeah, I was fortunate to actually get to work one of his matches here a little while back, so that was pretty cool.
He was my first favorite wrestler when I started watching wrestling.
That was one of my mom's guys. My mom only liked 3 guys: Roddy Piper, Tommy Wildfire Rich, and Michael Hayes.
Oh, Michael Hayes. Yeah.
Michael
Okay.
P.
Here's the figs. Take a look at this one. Now look at the grapplers in the lower right corner. I can't blow that picture up any more than that, but
Oh, there's way more definition to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then here's the Premier. You can see the grapplers. They're just not as clear. They're not as defined. Go back to the figs.
Yeah, that's more like the original shape right there.
And another difference between the Premier and the figs is the figs has the actual beads around the edge of the main plate, and the Premier it's different. I can't describe it. It's just different.
It looks like the beads.
Yeah,
but
they're
it's just
flat.
kinda
They're
like
flat. The
etched
beads on the
as
figs
opposed
are
to
actually rounded.
I think Dustin knows where I'm going with this. I want to
Yes.
talk to him.
I like to talk about the Dome Globe a lot in case somebody didn't notice.
You know, that was the belt. You know, there's belts that stand out for different reasons. Like the Dome Globe, obviously what it was. Like the Hogan 86, that was because that's the belt that beat Andre.
Mhm.
You know, the U.S. title was because, you know, that was Magnum and Nikita. You know, the Mulkovich tag belts, that was when the Rock and Rolls first won them. And if you're old enough and remember when they finally beat the Russians, that was huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was humongous.
That took up the whole episode because I remember watching it as a kid. It took
July
up the whole
1985.
hour episode of Mid Atlantic Wrestling.
And then, you know,
We lost somebody.
No, I think it might have just been me kind of feeding back through it or something.
Oh, okay.
It was probably my kids yelling. I hit mute real quick when they started to yell.
Another thing about that Dome Globe was there were so many feuds, classic feuds that got started because of that Dome Globe.
oh yeah,
It was Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, the Von Erichs and Freebirds,
Dusty and Harley.
Dusty and Harley, yeah, Harley and Ric Flair. I mean, it wasn't as long.
Harley
of a feud,
and the
but,
Funks.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but a lot of feuds got Ron Bass and Dusty Rhodes, and they get into it over the fact that I think Ron Bass screwed Dusty Rhodes out of the world title at one point.
I mean, everybody screwed Dusty out of the title at one point.
Well, yeah.
And Flair too. I mean, Flair was the champion. You know, I was having an argument, not even an argument, just a conversation with my buddy. And if y'all see that meme today with Brady and Brett,
I didn't see that one.
it said,
Oh
you know,
yeah. It had Royal Rumble
Seven
wins.
titles, yeah. So,
I want
I
to see
need
this
to get
tag
one of
belt.
those belts. I want one of those so bad. I
That's
can't
on my
afford
list.
one
That's
right
on my
now.
list,
Yeah,
Dustin.
That's definitely.
Who made
that's
that
definitely one I'd like to.
Kevin Rhodes. So this is a Kevin Rhodes legacy belt. I did have to have the eagle replaced because the original eagle broke in half. So you can see the eagle is a different color. But
That's
now this is
nice.
a Kevin Rhodes cast belt.
I bet that's heavy too.
you get that from Iceberg?
What was that?
Did you get that from Iceberg?
No, I
Eddie
got
Chetfield?
this from Tim Hicks. Actually, I bought his set.
Okay.
He had two of them, and he needed to sell some for some extra cash, so I picked both of them up.
Now Mateen makes one of those, doesn't he?
Beautiful belt, isn't it, guys?
It is, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
does Mateen make one of those? Oh, we lost him too. Can't hear you either. There you are.
I'm here. I'm gonna shoot you a message real quick.
Okay. But yeah, that's on my list to get. I'm just trying to figure out who we'll get it from.
I think I know what that message is going to say.
Yeah, there were some classic feuds over that belt too. We talked about that, and
Oh, yeah.
also you had Rick Steamboat and Jay Youngblood against the Briscoes.
Oh, yeah, that was classic.
Yes.
Read your message, Mark.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think I know what that says. Anyway, just again.
But I bet that thing's heavy. I got a little Texas belt that my team made that is heavy. It's a cast belt.
it's I think it's 16 or 18 pounds. It's pretty heavy.
I believe
Okay.
it.
Wow.
When they made the mold, they made the molds too thick.
I've got
It's,
I've got this Texas belt that's made the same way.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. I don't know what it weighs, but it's heavy.
Yeah, that one's real heavy. So this one, when I picked up both of them from Tim, he brought them to me in these carrying bags, and it was just like I don't know. I'm sure Russ, you probably know Tim Hicks. I don't know if James.
I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, James
Yeah.
Mark. He's a little guy. He used to referee back east in the Atlantic area, and then out here in Arizona he did. But yeah, I remember him carrying those bags, and it was like he was carrying two 15-pound bags of potatoes. It was so heavy, but beautiful belt.
Wow. There's something about a cast belt. It's just they're really nice. They really are.
Yeah, and the anniversary edition is a beautiful belt too.
Well, those were sent to Reggie to re-leather and replate.
Yep.
That's why when he got them back, they were silver and gold with the black leather.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I was
black.
gonna say that,
and
now
that's
that's the one. That was the one
that's
that was
the
buried with
NWA.
Rick Rude, was it not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And
Yeah, I
the
love
one
that.
that's casted off was Manny's.
Yeah,
I think
Rick
he
was
sold-
buried with his, correct?
He sold. Yeah, Rude was buried with his, and I believe he sold that belt to Joe Price first.
Okay.
And Joe and Kevin were in business together, and Joe passed away. Got to be about 10 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite belts in the collection. I'll probably never sell it. You
Never
know,
say never.
Well, probably never.
I've got the blue NWA tag, but I'd like to have that cast tag.
Yeah. See, I have the blue one.
I have the
I've
blue
got
as well.
I've got the blue ones done by Milliken.
Okay. Yeah, when I scaled down my collection, I was about 90 when I
Oh wow.
started scaling down.
Scale
Yeah.
down. What's that mean?
Huh? Well,
Scale down. What does that mean?
I just didn't have any place to store an extra 60 belts. I had to convince my wife to let me put one of the racks in our bedroom.
But you let
That's
the
where
kids
mine
move
are.
back in. See, no, you got to rule the roost, man. You're the champ.
I've got 25.
Now wait a
25.
second. Now I was a beneficiary of that scale down. I got one of those. So
You did, right?
I can't.
Which one did you get? Remind me.
Yes. A Pacific.
Oh, I was going to
Midwest.
say, was it a Dome Globe? Jeez.
Which one, James?
Pacific
The
Northwest.
P&W. I lost it. So actually,
Yeah.
I just got the P&W tag belt in if you're interested.
Oh.
Looks like the old World Wrestling Council tag or TV, and then the 6-man Ring of Honor belts.
Yeah.
The Central States.
I have the Central States tag and the Central States heavyweight right now for sale. I've got the P&W tag. I've got the Anderson World tags, the small ones,
Yep.
the old original Reggie Park designs. I just got that in. So all of the belts that I was ordering for my collection are starting to come in now, but I've scaled down my collection because my collection was going to be 106. So I'm starting to get those other 16 in. So I'm starting to kind of sell those down. I've got the, which I'm really excited for and I'm not going to sell. I've got the first NWA World title, which was the Midwest Wrestling Alliance World title in 1936 that was used as the NWA World title in 48.
Is that that little
The
round
one-
one?
No, is that the
That's
one
back-
that got handed off to Mildred Burke as the women's title? The one that actually has the picture in it?
That's always what I assumed it was too, but I actually found a video of Oliver Orville Brown's grandson getting the original belt appraised. So I'd always assumed that was the one Mildred Burke was using too, but I think it was the same maker that made both of them. I think they were separate belts.
I know at one point when Adonis did the Southwest World title, Fez gave him the little one, or at least they used it.
Yep.
In
Yeah,
there.
I have that match. Yes, they used. He actually has. He presents it at the beginning of the match
Right.
as the Real World's Championship at that point in time.
Yeah.
I've
And
got one.
who did Adonis wrestle that night for the title?
Orton, I think.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
I've
are
got one.
watching this podcast on Facebook, you need to click on the StreamYard link so that your name pops up. We can give you credit for the comment. And if you can't do that or it doesn't work for you, sometimes it doesn't, then you can go to YouTube, to the Wide World of Belts channel. We're streaming live on YouTube as well.
So getting back to the conversation you guys were having before I jumped on, we were talking about logo plates.
Yeah.
And I had made the comment about the NWA television that you had and the logo plate being on it. So most new people in the hobby assume that those belts had them because they've been around forever with them on there. But It was my understanding that in the early 2000s, a fan designed that and wanted it added to the replica that Reggie was doing. But none of the NWA belts had those. I do believe the 94 tags that were reintroduced in WCW that Doc and Gordy won.
They had them.
They had them. But
So the U.S. title.
yeah. Now, did the Jim Crockett U.S. title have it?
No.
I don't believe so,
No.
right? So it was just that second era.
When they went to WCW.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when they changed the tag belts over, when the NWA tags, the blue ones changed because they changed a couple of times.
Yep.
And so, like, the ones that the Road Warriors had didn't have logo plates, but the next set did.
Yep.
And you can always tell by the globe. The globe is different. And then the side tags are a little different. The artwork's a little different on them.
You can tell by the banner paint too. The ones that the Road Warriors had, the banners were not completely black all the way across the main plate. They were
Yeah.
just in the curvature right at the top. The rest of the banner was lit gold.
Yeah.
That's actually how I have mine painted up.
Yep. Just like the one you have behind you.
Mine are just like the way Tully and Arn wore them because they're my favorite team. Them and the Hart Foundation are my two favorite teams.
Greatest team of all time, Tully and Arn.
Yes. And you
And
know
I'm-
what? FTR should be number 2 right now. I don't know why they're not.
Good for them. I'll say I'm
Oh,
not a
the
big
Bucks
Hart-
bury him. I'll say it.
Yeah. Well, you got to throw the Midnight into the conversation.
Oh, Midnights are great. I mean, Rock and Rolls were great. Hearts, Bulldogs.
Yeah.
The Road Warriors are number 1 of all time. I mean, there's no question.
I agree. I completely agree.
And then after that, everybody, Road Warriors are here. Everybody else is the next level.
See, for me, I agree that the Warriors are historically they're going to be number 1, but for me personally, it's Arn Tully, then
Yeah.
it's the Road Warriors. For me personally, but it doesn't offend me when people flip on
Right.
because it's the Road Warriors.
And Tully and Arn are my favorite team. Them and the Hearts are on equal level. But, like, to me, the Road Warriors, because, you know, even though Hogan gets that huge pop, Austin gets that huge pop, that's still
It's
referred
called
to
the Road
as
Warrior pop.
The Road Warrior pop.
For me, I'm going to separate the Road Warriors from because they are the goats of all time. So they're not on this list because there's nothing they can achieve
like
that.
Flair.
For me, yes. For me personally, though, I'm going to go out and say because the Road Warriors will always be number 1. I cannot. This is after the Road Warriors, and I have to go for my order. Would probably be because I'm a JCP guy, but I'd have to go the Hart Foundation number 1. Then the Midnight Express, then Arn and Tully. The only reason why I put the Midnight Express above them because of the member change and how it was almost seamless.
Yeah, it was.
And then maybe the Bulldogs after that. Man, there's just so many. I mean, the Rock and Roll, the fantastic. I mean, God, you know, there's so many.
You got to throw the Steiners in there as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
Rick
yeah,
and Steiner.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But the Dudleys, and look at what they've done.
Different
27
era.
different, different era, but at the
Different
same
era.
time, they were still.
I never believed in all that ECW crap. I mean,
I
they were
didn't.
great.
I liked them after they got the WWE, though.
Oh.
I actually started liking them when they got the WWE.
I agree.
I saw them in ECW twice, and I mean, they were over huge. Don't get me wrong. How many times you got to get hit with stuff before the pinfall happens and get, you know, there was just stuff I couldn't buy. You know,
Okay.
maybe it was because it was a different form. And I mean, I can appreciate it, but a lot of those guys now, look at them now. I mean, the only guy that can really still move around, Shane Douglas can.
Well, Shane can't move all that well.
Yeah, but I mean, Rob Van Dam, he can still move, but a lot of
Rob
these guys
still can.
can't move around very well from ECW.
Yeah. And
I respect what they gave us.
Sorry, that's a whole different style thing. You know,
Oh, yeah.
really style.
I never liked it.
Yeah, so I feel like we're really good friends. I've become really good friends with the Blue Meanie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Brian's a good guy.
Great guy. So I don't have the ECW background. I grew up on the West Coast. I just never had that interaction with them, right? So my ECW experience was really kind of 97 on.
Yeah.
Just the Taz era, you know, I like to call it. So I don't have a lot of knowledge previous to that. And I'm not a big fan of the hardcore style. I think it has its place, but I think you hot shot too much. And, you know, I would say I'm more of a Jim Cornette style wrestling fan.
Same.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Yeah, you
I'm
know,
I
telling
train under
Paul
Shane
Heyman's mind
Douglas.
for the business is really good too. Just it's not always hardcore about that, but even if you watch him now, some of the things you see with Roman and Brock,
Yep.
like the whole turn the other night. I mean, everybody knew in the world knew Heyman was going to turn. It was just a question of when.
Yep.
So now
Well, Heyman's a genius.
they did it at the right time because now that adds more to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, Heyman's a genius because he took a large group of talent that probably didn't have what it took to get over in WCW or WWF, and
Right.
he was able to make ECW.
Yeah, but he changed the rules too. But you got to remember,
Oh,
he was not the traditional tropes of wrestling were thrown out the window. That's how he was able to get these guys over. Because I train under Shane, I ask questions about ECW and we've had some discussions. I mean, I can honestly say he and I've actually gotten to an argument over the style, and I was like, he's like, yeah, everybody still to this day chants ECW, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but how many times did you and your buddies get your skulls fractured for little to nothing,
For some hot
and
dogs.
yeah, and of course, he's my trainer, so we have discussions about wrestling all the time, and he values my opinion, and I of course everything that he teaches I value. So,
Oh yeah.
and he basically came out and was just like, we had something special in the beginning. He said they took it, they milked it and milked it and milked it and
And then
milked
it
it
dropped.
and then it dropped. And the thing was, and even Shane said this, after you bust somebody in the head with, a freaking frying pan, what do you got to do to take a shotgun to them the next round? The next time you go up against them to beat them, because and it desensitized everybody too, and that and like because. And I've been fortunate to have conversations, and I was because I've asked him, what do you think killed it? And he said, well, other than the fact that Paul was paying out more money for a pay-per-view than he was raking in, and not paying the guys. He said, but also the fact that what they were trying to do with Extreme Wrestling was unsustainable. It just over time. You could only, that's why they tried to bring in as much reality as they could as far as the promos, of the shoot promo, and I don't know, you guys lived it. We all, the ones of us that got to see it at the end, or like for me, I was pretty much there from the Sandman Raven part of it. And I thought that was really cool because, yeah, at that point in time, I was a teenager and it was violent and everything. But even then, looking back on it as I got older, I don't do too many of the. I actually did my first real death match this past weekend with 440 guys from GCW. I don't know if you guys have heard of 440 tag team or not. Yeah, they work in GCW. They're actually pretty good guys. I did my first death match with one of them, and it wasn't so much where there was a whole bunch of light tube type death match, but it was a hardcore match. Let me rephrase that: not a death match, a hardcore match.
I can
Big
say
difference
this.
between the two.
Like for me, I love football, baseball. I love every sport, but the ones I respect most are pro wrestlers. I do, just because I see and know what they go through. With you look at guys like LeBron and all these sports guys. They travel to these towns in luxury buses, and everything they're catered to with everything. Their uniforms are always washed for them. They don't do anything except they wear their $10,000 suits, their $40,000 watch with their headphones on and come in. The wrestlers don't do that. They get themselves there. They do everything. They're not, with the exception of guys.
There's no off season.
Hogan, Flair, Triple H, all the guys that are that. When you're that money level, yeah, you get some perks. Hey, you earned it. Now is it all of wrestling was always, here's your opportunity. Let's see what you make of it. Not just with Vince, but also with Vince. If you look back, the whole ECW thing, he sat back and watched what worked and didn't work, and he had people around him. And when Paul needed money, he took all his guys and he made them all bigger than they ever were.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
and kudos to him.
Pro wrestlers also work hurt.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, you can't lose your spot, especially back then. If you're not working, and and you're in a certain spot. Well, guess what? Believe me, somebody's going to step up and take that spot
Right.
because they need
Yeah.
somebody to fill it.
Right.
I mean, you
And,
see,
that's
Road Warrior Hawk wrestled with a broken leg in a scaffold match.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's
guys wrestle concussed, and you see the problems that result from it. Benoit. I mean, just look at the damage the body suffers. Look at somebody like Davey Boy Smith, or not Davey Boy Smith,
Dynamite Kid.
Dynamite Kid.
Yep.
Look at him and his body and what happened to him. He broke his back hitting the ropes.
And that's not what happened.
Well,
He hurt his back. He hurt his back, and I've read and I've seen, and because this always fascinated me how he was able to do some of the stuff. And the story I read was they were in the back, and the guys were trying to crack their back, and he'd been having some little issues. And I think it was Nikolai Volkov. He picked him up to crack his back, and he felt like a twinge. He didn't think nothing of it. And they were in Ontario, I think, Hamilton, Ontario, wrestling Orton and Morocco. And they were doing the match, and I can't remember which one of the other guys was in the ring, but Dynamite was zipping, and the guy dropped over, and he went to do the leap, just step over him, and his back just deadened his leg, and he fell. And he went outside the ring. And they went out after him, and Fuji's kicking him, and the other guy's hitting him with a chair, and he's trying to tell him, stop, I'm hurt. And, that was the end of that, and that's when they took him to the hospital. And I actually went to dinner with Davey Boy Smith in 1992, and I asked him about that night. And he's like, yeah, we got him to the hospital, and he was on the gurney, and his leg was just shaking and jerking violently because the nerves were so badly damaged. And they had to, morphine him up to get him to relax and get it to all calm down. And then, obviously, after that, he was never the same.
Was that?
I heard that the back was broken. That's the story that I heard when he hit the ropes.
It is possible. I mean, as beat up as he was, if you watched, and I can remember when we first got cable and Madison Square Garden was brand new, Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask was huge.
Yeah.
84.
Yeah,
I
they
had
beat
that.
the crap out of each other.
Sayama, they were awesome. And, and when you're 11, 12 years old, you think it's the coolest thing in the world. Now you get to be our age now and look at the stupid shit we did, and now we're all suffering.
Yeah.
And we didn't do anything like that.
Exactly.
I mean, they sacrificed for us. And, like James, you get in the ring. I've been in the ring, not as, on large of a scale as you or even as much. But you take that first couple bumps and hit those ropes a few times, you understand what this really is and how much it does hurt.
Yeah, those turnbuckles aren't as soft as what people think they are.
Dude.
What's behind them is a big steel hook that's
Yeah.
holding the rope.
Yeah.
And Brett used to run into that.
and you hit that, and every time you hit it, there is no way that it doesn't hurt. I'm
Right.
just going to put that out there.
Well, that's how Mr. Perfect hurt his back. There's a WWF Light Heavyweight title.
That was
Nice.
the 84 match between Tiger Mask and Dynamite Kid.
Nice.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I can go back and forth all night, fellas. I got tons of belts.
We got another hour.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
not going to my basement and bringing all that up there.
Oh, I don't want you. Yeah, I don't want you to show me up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's the belt they were talking about. 1984 WWF Light Heavyweight title. Or
There were
junior-
some great matches. Tiger Mask was amazing because at that time, the only person I'd ever seen with a mask, two guys, I'd seen Masked Superstar and I'd seen Mil Mascaras, but I didn't know really who he was because he was only on TV a couple times. And then I saw the Midnight Rider a couple times. It was in Florida. And if y'all remember the national heavyweight title feud, Brad Armstrong and Tommy Rich and Teddy
Mr.
DiBiase.
R. Mr. R.
Mr. R. When
Yep.
he
Yeah.
thought that was Mr. R. He thought that was Tommy Rich, and he's waving at him, and Brad rolled him up and
Yeah.
pinned him for the national title.
Yeah, on TV.
On
That,
TV,
that's the
yeah.
first time I saw a title change hands on television. Wow.
So this is for sale if anybody's interested. This is one of the scale downs I have. So it's a cast belt, pretty thick. It's got some corrosion. You can see here the belt's upside down, but it's got some corrosion on the side plates. And then the same on the both side, not as bad as any of the said, but Q20 if anybody's interested in this. It's cast
$220, guys. Dustin
$220
Kane.
smoking deal.
What's
The
that
Four
auto
Horsemen.
auction they do in Las Vegas? You know what I'm talking about? The Mecum auto auction.
I was to say
This is the Mecum belt auction.
There you go.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I got. I don't, like I said, it's not that I want to scale down, but I'm just kind of, space limitations. And I just don't want to store them up here in the Pacific Northwest because of all the moisture in the air. I'm worried that if I store them, then I'm going to get corrosion and tarnish on
Oh
them.
yeah.
Does it rain up there?
No, that wasn't a problem. What was that?
Does it rain up there?
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Every once in a while, the sun comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I spent a week in Seattle. We drove up there with my folks to visit my uncle. It rained every day we were there.
Dude, I'm from South Florida. I know all about rain. Trust me.
I was in
We're at the
Arizona
top
for
of the,
27 years. I think it's rained more in the year I've been in Washington than it did the entire 27 years combined while I was in Arizona.
well, you were in a desert there. You went from one extreme to the other. You went to a dry heat to
Rainforest.
wet, swampy wet.
Yeah.
They don't have flies up there, do they? I heard they don't have screens on the windows because they don't have flies
In Washington?
in Washington. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or
You
not.
know what? Now that you mention it, I don't think I've seen flies up here.
They're called
Yeah.
the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Mind blown, Mark. I don't think I've ever seen a housefly up here.
Well,
No,
I
that's
think
not
my
true. I have. We have houseflies. I take
okay.
that.
I think my uncle told me this is back in 1981. He said they didn't have screens on the windows because they didn't have flies. But we're at the top of the hour, so I'm going to do the sponsors again real quick. Mark Leather for all your re-leathering needs, and then Unique Spirit, which made the place for the giveaway belt. And since you're showing that one off for sale, I'm going to show this other one I got for sale, which is another basically same as a TV or the giveaway belt. Has a little bit better or different tooling, not better, but it's more TV accurate. Let me put this on full screen. There we go. This is also an oxblock strap with the blue backing. You might see the
love
blue
the blue
better.
backing on it.
What's that?
I love the blue backing. It's a nice touch.
Well, I kind of came across that by accident. What happened was I went to Tandy to get some more leather, and the backing is kind of expensive, and all it comes in is black. So I asked them, I said, "Do you have anything else like this that comes in different colors?" And they said, "Well, yeah, we got this other one, which actually came out cheaper." And so I bought a side of that, and I really liked it. But all they had was this dark blue, and they had a turquoise blue. I thought, I'm not doing turquoise blue, but they're trying to get more colors in, so they give me more options. But I like this. It really sets off that ox blood.
You know, earlier we were talking about the little minute details that everybody freaks out about.
Yeah.
Somebody on one of the groups posted about their new AEW replica. There was a little spot of gold on the. How do I get this off? How do I get this off? I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god!
Yeah.
Like, really, that bothers you? If that bothers you that bad, oh my god!
Ben, you want to come on the show?
And the guy probably doesn't change his underwear but every 4 days.
Probably. Yeah.
Right.
It's just, I don't understand the fascination with every little thing. My god!
It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy.
I couldn't be a middleman. There's no way.
No, I
Because
couldn't
this is not 100% TV accurate. Blah, 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 blah. Man, it would just make me pull what little bit of hair I have left out.
I have told many people from the beginning, like, I'll go over sizes with you and we'll agree on sizing on plates because that's important. Like, if you come to me with the information to begin with before we start the process, that's great. But if the belt's finished and you start picking apart little shit here and there, I'm like, dude, I'll refund people money. I don't care.
Sure.
I always keep it running. I always have money in my belt account. I have no problem refunding you money as long as it's not a custom. And I'll turn around and sell the belt for the same price as somebody else because
Right.
not everybody's going to be a
Chris?
freaking douche about
I can
shit like that. Excuse my language, but
It's supposed to be fun, and people take this
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
they truly. And look, it's different because I've done this for a very long time. There's a few of us that are, and I've seen, you've seen on other podcasts where there's a few of us still that have been in this for well over 20 years that have bought and sold, and then we see all the scamming, and that goes around every little while. You'll get somebody scamming, but it's in everything, all the little stuff with the belt. This has always been in the belt thing with everybody.
It always will be too.
Crazy, with the little nitpicking, and God.
Absolutely, yeah.
absolutely.
What do you do when you have a baby and God forbid one ear is higher than the other on a kid? Do you send them back?
Do you call God and say, "Hey God, you messed this up. I need this TV accurate. This isn't TV accurate."
Or you tell your friend who had a baby, I'm sorry, that baby's ugly.
Right.
Do you do that? You just don't do that.
No.
Well, and something else too, and I had this with I think I talked to Dustin about this the other night. In regards to all this, we've seen the AEW replica come out and all the arguments back and forth about everything. Again, all of the belts, all of this, it's your money.
Yeah.
It's your money. You can't
Right.
tell somebody how to spend their money. But when you want to pick out the differences, once you display that and show the world, you're opening yourself up.
Yep.
So like I bought an AEW belt from a guy the other day. I love it. It sits on my shelf downstairs. Is it accurate? You know what? I don't take pictures of the real one and sit there and look at it for 3 hours. I don't know. I don't know how close it is, but I like it. It's cool. And it sits on my shelf and I'm happy with it.
Works for you. Works for
I
me.
I would like to get a replica too, but when that time comes, I will do that. And I thought 700 for a replica, but again, I didn't set that price. And those guys, if they seem to know what they're doing, we don't know what all went into that. So, I don't know. I've heard the arguments with everybody arguing about it.
I had to put that up there. I had to.
What did it
I
say?
will forever be linked to that goddamn show.
Oh, Jesus.
Pawn Star is as fake as every other reality
Of
television
course.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We'll start there. Chumley was a douchebag. He was dick. He was rude.
What'd you try to sell him?
I had a NWA
Concept Big
I had a
Gold.
Leather Rebels concept NWA world title.
Okay.
I don't have the belt anymore, so I can't show a photo of it. PM me.
Pawn Stars didn't buy it either.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, they didn't buy it. Beautiful belt.
Yeah,
Um,
it was.
They never had it.
All the marks saw that in the book and had to get it. I know.
Well, no, so this was a different design, slightly different. This one was designed by Peter Ellis for Leather Rebels in the mid 2000s, and it was a concept that because he had done the NWA Dome Globe, the Leather Rebels Dome Globe, and Peter had designed a modern take on the Crumrine, so it had the NWA block logos on the top.
Right.
in
Yeah, I've
stone.
seen
Beautiful belt, but they never had the intention of buying it.
I think Kevin
And that-
Davenport had that belt for a while.
What was
He
that?
has one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
By the way, let me
Kevin
interrupt you for a
Davenport.
second. I put on the web page on the group page for prayers for Kevin Davenport. He's in the hospital.
Yes,
I can't go into detail.
That was the PM I was going to send you later. I was just
Okay,
saying how
all right.
he's doing.
But
Hopefully
just,
he's okay. He's a good guy.
He's
yeah,
a great
I
guy.
haven't heard anything in a couple of days, but lift him up in prayer if you can, please.
He's
Absolutely.
a little nitpicky too, but when you can be nitpicky if you're a decent guy about it, but too many people freak out.
Oh yeah.
But he's
They get mad.
he's knowledgeable too. He's knowledgeable too.
Very much. We had about an hour conversation about some other issues going on in the hobby a couple days ago, and it's the first time I've really talked to him, and just a great guy. So that's what I was going to PM you about later, was just
Okay, yeah, I'll get with you after the
see
show.
how he's doing.
Okay,
In my prayers, a great guy. Really like him a lot.
he is. He's my co-admin, by the way.
I wasn't aware of that until you said that. So,
Yeah,
I saw that
he's
thing.
been on
I
a
saw
show
the
one
post.
time. He's just been struggling with personal issues, and he did come on a couple weeks ago for a little bit. So
yeah, I became admins of groups that I didn't even want to become admins of, but just kind of forced on me. Yeah. So, can you go back to that message real quick, Mark?
thought I had to click. There you go.
So Nathan said he thought it was funny. He tried to give me a history lesson. So they edited that episode a lot because I actually kind of got into it with him over the history he was giving me, because it wasn't correct information. A lot of the stuff that I think they edited a lot off of the show as well. Some of the stuff he was spouting off some bullshit. And we were talking about the NWA, how the NWA was holding shows in bingo halls and smoke-filled rooms in the 70s with 30 people in the crowd, and wrestling didn't become mainstream and become an attraction until Vince McMahon purchased the WWF from his father. And I was just it got kind of heated, and that's why I say he was a dick. There was a lot of editing off there. A lot of the information, well, all the information he gave regarding the Leather Rebels belt that I took was information I had provided months earlier to their producers. So he was basically memorized what I sent them as far as information.
Wow. So
My
just
belt-
they do like a run through of like your appearance on the show. Like, okay, you're going to walk in, we're going to do this, and then you walk out. Do they prep you for that, or you just walk in and do your thing?
So my screen is frozen. I don't know if you guys can see me moving around, but
No, you're froze. We see you, but you're not moving.
well, if you can hear me, we'll talk. So
Yeah, we hear you.
yeah, I had the belt. I'll just real quick recap on the entire situation. I had the belt posted for sale on Facebook Marketplace in Phoenix. They reached out to me. One of the producers asked me some information on the belt. I had to provide back history and proof of Peter Ellis making it and proof of the value. And then they said that they were interested in doing a show on it. So I was originally scheduled to do it early in 2020, and then COVID hit. So we got pushed back to early summer of 21, I believe, is when I finally filmed it. So they pushed, no, I probably got pushed 6 or 7 months back. So my timing might be off.
Okay.
And so I go to Vegas from Phoenix. I paid for my entire trip. Pawn Stars History Channel didn't pay for anything. I get to Vegas. Monday morning we film. 6 a.m. I got there at like 5:30, and they got mad at me for getting there too early or some shit. And so the shot where you're walking through the parking lot, that's all filmed after I done my episode.
Oh, okay.
The entry. They have a studio behind the pawn shop where everything is filmed. So when you go to visit the actual pawn shop, you're not going where Chum and Rick and Corey are. That's all in the back. So I film all that. It was all extras behind me. There was no actual other customers in the store with me, and everything was predetermined.
Kayfabe.
They knew I didn't know if they were going to buy it or not until he told me no. But I already had a feeling because my asking price was $3,500, and when I got there, they had it written down as $1,700. And I told them, I said, no, it's $3,500. And she's like, oh, that's not a problem. We'll change it. So she changed it on the board. So I knew right then and there that there's no way they were buying it when they were expecting it to be $7,500 when it was $3,500. But I mean, all in all, it was a fun experience.
Yeah. And when was this filmed? How long ago was this?
President Trump drove through Vegas the night before I filmed it, so I could figure out exactly when it was, because I'm sure that's
So
record.
it was during his presidency. Okay.
It was during his presidency. It
Last
was
5 years. Within the last 5
It
years.
was in summer of 21.
Okay.
I came up to Washington in June. So it was in May, middle of May 21. Because it was a month before I came to Washington.
Gotcha. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Good evening, gentlemen. You too, Russ. You're a Packers fan, so I can't take you too seriously. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man. How you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Doing good. I was listening to you guys. Great show so far, man.
Well, thank you.
I just adding a little to it, but yeah.
Okay, Dustin. Let me boot you out, and you come back in. That might fix it.
Hey, Ben, can you turn your camera just a little bit so I don't see that thing behind you there? No, the other way. The other way.
Here we go.
The only way the Bears are going to have championships is right there.
Okay. All right. It's coming. Your time is coming. You're going to become the Lions of the division. Better be careful. You better be careful.
That's what they thought when Brett left too, but you never know.
You better be careful.
Can't hear you, Dustin. Oh, you're mute. There you go.
Now I can't hear him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, well, can't hear you now. Nope.
You broke
Saw
it.
him unmute himself, but he's having all sorts of technical. It must be the moisture in here up there in Washington.
He got some flies in his ears. Oh, wait a minute.
Flies. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. He muted himself. Okay. Yeah, Dustin, you work with that. We'll work around you.
Hey, we can bust on him now. He can't answer.
Yeah,
Can you
there
hear
you
me
go.
now?
Yeah.
Am I-
Oh, wait,
No, we
I'm
can't.
on
Still
my
can't hear you.
button.
Let me boot you out and you come back in. Well,
All right, guys. So what do we really think of him? Oh, damn.
hold on, wait. Try again. Now say it.
What do we really think of this guy? God.
Yeah. He's working on his issues there. Okay, let's try this
There we
again.
All right.
Yeah, he could hear all that anyway.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Welcome
had
to
to open
Verizon.
the microphone.
Welcome to the Verizon Hour.
I'm just on my cell phone.
Pretty good camera on a cell phone. Is that an iPhone?
No, it's just a little Android.
Okay. I got an iPhone that has a pretty good camera, but
Yeah, I wasn't paying that much for an iPhone. Hell no.
I
Hey,
don't blame
Ben,
you.
you want this?
Put that back on screen. Ben didn't hear you.
Yeah, I hear. No, I hear.
Okay.
You want this? No, you do.
Well,
Oh,
so there's a reason why I would want that. I've decided to try to do the New Japan Octuple crown or the J crown. Remember the picture with Ultimo Dragon with all the titles?
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm thinking about doing that whole 8 belt set. So when you guys all see that picture, there's actually 10 belts in that picture.
hmm
So there's 2 championships that's not part of that J crown in that picture. Of course, one of them is the WCW Cruiserweight.
Right.
I got a picture. I duplicated that. Let me see if I can find it here. I duplicated that picture in
So-
Dallas.
That title that
There it is.
Mr. King has, Mr. Dustin has, is one of the belts in that picture.
So who have you been talking to about this? Because I've got 2 other people that told me the same exact thing. They wanted to replicate the J Crown. And it's all since you told me. So there's 2 other people that are interested in this. Nobody's pulled the trigger yet, though.
I don't know. I say sometimes and it travels through the wind and then it comes
It's not
across
Ultimo
and
Dragon.
somebody else hears it. I don't know.
It's not Ultimo Dragon, but that's the best I could do.
It's close.
Yeah,
You know,
close.
That's
actually on the
hold
side of the
I'll help you.
sportatorium.
Hold
Okay. This is actually taken on the side of the sportatorium where it used to stand. I did this on the way back from Shreveport. And that is not a good part of town. It is.
Dude.
There were people in that. It's like a park now. There's a tree area back behind where the building used to stand, and there's a group of people there that looked a little seedy. And so I didn't get very far from my truck. I had my gun on me too, so
You were probably interrupting something they were trying to do.
that
There you
could
go.
be. There you go.
There's
There
Ultimo
you go.
Dragon right there.
There you go. Let's see you do a backflip.
I'm addicted
I
to
don't
these
think the Ultimo
doggone
Dragon
glasses.
wore glasses. You couldn't see where he was going.
I don't think Ultimo Dragon had the beard like that neither.
He didn't like the Bears.
Oh.
He liked the Ichiban Tigers.
Just tell me what just describe to me what a Packer is, and I'll leave you alone.
Oh dear.
Packed all the meats and all the foods. They packed it up.
There you go.
We packed away 13 titles. I'm good.
That's some mascot. We're right behind you. What we have 11. Yeah.
That's still not 13.
Watch
Just
me
like
do
Tom
the
Brady, he's kind of far behind Ric Flair. Woo!
Not far. We'll catch you eventually.
Oh,
I think there's some chocolate factories in Wisconsin, too, they were packing.
Could be. That's gross.
I'm a shit talker. I don't
So how
have
you gonna feel when Rogers is a 49?
kids, that's Candy he's talking about.
Right. It's candy.
chocolate fudge.
hmm
This is PG-13.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I don't know what's gonna happen. Rogers leaves, he leaves. Look, it's a business to them. It's not a game.
Right.
I truly think if he leaves, it damages his legacy if he goes elsewhere and doesn't win. Now, will they put the pieces around him? Could be, could not be. But he's going to need at least a year to get comfortable.
It's kind of like Joe Montana when he left for the 49ers and went to the Chiefs.
Yeah, but he went
Wasn't
to
the
the
same.
AFC Championship.
There's Andy. Get your power back on.
Yeah, thank God.
Okay.
You know, it's when Montana left. I mean, he played well. The Chiefs, I think they got to the AFC Championship.
They
one
got the
year.
AFC
Yeah, they got
championship.
Buffalo. Yeah, they
It's
got
not the Super
Buffalo's
Bowl
bad.
though. You know.
Right? No, it's not. You know, but is it the same? Because I got a feeling wherever Aaron goes, Devontae's going to be right there. Maybe Randall Cobb too. And I like Randall Cobb, but he's injury prone. So takes the wrong landing, takes the wrong fall. He's out for 6 games, just like Bakhtiari, who I love. I mean, I love all these guys. But if you're starting to be hurt and you're not there when we need you, you're a liability.
I think he finally gets his dream of being a 49er next year. The 49ers are getting rid of Garoppolo.
You
I'm
know,
a 49er fan. They should have never signed Garoppolo, but that's just me.
the only person on this screen that has bragging rights is Andy. His Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl.
Yes, they are. They're in there.
Only had to wait
Yeah.
30-some years, but hey, we're back.
They never
And who
lost
they-
an AFC title game.
But you know what? Who'd they lose to in that Super Bowl?
Don't even say it.
Joe
Well-
Montana, baby.
Thank God
once,
we're
but
not
twice.
playing them for the 3rd time. I can't. Oh,
And they were there, was it 6 years before that with Ken Anderson?
Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason. Yep.
Yep.
So hope for
Iggy did
better.
not shuffle.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It was cool to see him on the field, though, when they clinched.
Yeah, for giving the trophy.
That was kind of cool.
I like
that was
that.
kind of neat to see that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm real proud of them. They never quit.
No, and you know what? Both teams, it's kind of good to see. No, Rodgers ain't going to the Steelers. I like
I heard
kind
it's
of
going to the Broncos.
Possibly. Matt Stafford. I kind of like this because that's a big stick it up your butt to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
They didn't believe in him. Look at all the passing numbers he had all them
Oh, yeah.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And
They never put anybody around him, and they never got him.
And Stafford wasn't the problem with the Lions.
correct.
He was not the problem.
Yeah.
Russ and I, we had to play the Lions twice a year. He gave the Bears a lot of trouble. He gave the Packers a lot of trouble,
Mhm.
but he just couldn't close it out because he didn't have anything around him.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Megatron, once he left, they had no
Right.
real weapons.
Right? They didn't have any. No, they're done. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad for the Lions because they're the reason why the Bears don't come in last place. They'll always be there.
That's an interesting possibility.
You know, just like they did Barry Sanders.
Yeah. I think that's why he just abruptly left. He knew they weren't going to put anything around
Yeah,
him. to
he
win.
gave up. He gave up.
Yeah. Why
He
stay?
gave up.
He got
Should have
tired of
asked for a
getting beat
trade.
on.
He should have asked for a trade. I mean, he just
He
wasted.
did.
all-
He did.
He
He
did. He wanted to go to San Francisco.
Yeah,
They
he
wouldn't let him
did.
go.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They wouldn't let him go, so he retired.
So he just
What did he
walked away.
retire? Like 31 years old, 32?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Jim Brown retired early, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I always tell people, I was like, if Barry would have played 3, 4, 5 more years, he'd have shattered Walter Payton's record, and Emmett would have never touched it.
No.
He would have never touched it. It
I
wouldn't
think
even have been
Adrian
close.
Peterson hadn't gotten hurt, he would have had the record.
Right.
Adrian was awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Talk about all
Adrian
these
was
athletes
on
that went
pace
to
shatter
college
it.
in Oklahoma. You talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
guys that went to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
That's okay. They did all right. They weren't the Miami Hurricanes of the 80s and the 90s, but hey.
Yeah, I know.
And I live here in Columbus with Ohio State, so all I hear is their crap. But I'm like, they can say, and they're an elite program, they're an elite team, but they don't ever go into the number 1 team when they're not expected and blow them out. They don't ever go into other big teams and blow them out. Yes, winning is winning, but when you go into a opposing stadium and you make a statement and beat somebody by 30 points where your third string is scoring touchdowns, that's making a statement. They don't do that.
Nathan knows some people.
I know a few of those guys. I partied with them when I lived down there. Because to me, like Irvin and all them guys, if you watch like the ESPN things,
Yeah, I saw
those
that.
stories like in the club with the gangsters and that was in the paper. Dude, we thought that was the coolest thing in the world, but now you get to be an adult, and you're like, oh my god, they could have gotten killed over that crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What cracked me up about that being an OU fan was they talked about calling up the OU players before the big game, and I guess got in their heads.
Well, gentlemen,
They
I'm
were
just jump off. I got some stuff I got to do.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure, as always. to talk to
I'll
you
holler
guys.
at you later, Dustin. I'll holler at you later.
All right, Dustin, I'll text you too.
See you,
Bye, guys.
Dustin.
Take care.
Okay, Andy.
Take it easy, brother.
Yeah, I like those 30 for 30 shows. Those are pretty cool.
I like the Ric Flair one. I
Yeah.
thought Rick getting all mad at Sean after the fact was kind of weird, but I think Rick was in a different place then with his health, and so he was kind of emotional.
Well, Sean didn't mean anything by it. He was
No.
basically speaking the truth, but he really didn't say
Right.
anything bad.
I don't think The Rock blew his knee, Nathan. I think he had a shoulder injury or a lower abdominal injury or something, if I remember right. And then Warren Sapp took his spot, which doesn't matter. Sapp's in the Hall of Fame. The Rock's got more money. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
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 True.
You know, and when you look back at like the late 90s, to me, like the 90s to like 2002 or even 2003, that's a lot like how it was in like from like 82 to 89 with the NWA. It was just the WWE at that time in the 90s was so stacked. And then back in 82 to like 89 to 91, the NWA WCW was so stacked.
And it really got hot from like 83 to 86. It started
Yes.
to cool off after 87, but
Yeah.
it was still really good. Man,
It tapered off after Tully and Arn left.
yeah, well,
I agree.
they left. The Road Warriors weren't too far behind them because I
Right.
think the Road Warriors were out by like 90,
Dusty
89,
too.
80, 88, 89. I think they were out by 89, I think.
89.
Dusty went to
Mhm.
Florida.
And you know, things started going downhill. The whole landscape was changing, and you had at that time Hurd took over, I do believe.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
And
Yeah.
and you know, started running people out, and it was just
And you could
downhill.
tell just by the product that Jim Hurd was having the effect. I mean, we didn't know that then.
But he used to run Pizza Hut, didn't he? Or you had a
Yeah.
Pizza Hut or something?
Yeah. Oh, Road Warrior Hawk cut a promo about pizzas or something in one of his promos, and it was right before they left. And I remember that plain as day. And I wish I could find that now.
To answer Duarte's question, I think he was referring to the part where Sean said he didn't know who Richard Fleer was.
Right. He didn't know the difference.
Never met him. Yeah. Never got to know him is what he said. So I didn't think it was that bad. I think that's true.
Well, I mean, you know,
well,
Hunter talked about the drug issue with Reed. You know, he's like, Rick, we're telling you here, this is coming, and then he did worse on the next test.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
all
really
true.
sad.
Yeah.
And I met Reed in Charlotte a couple of times. Very nice young man, very good kid. I mean, he partied with us, and you know, I don't do nothing. I just drink beer, and he had a few beers. It wasn't like he was out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
He just hung out, and we all went to bed, and he went to bed, and you know, I didn't see anything crazy.
Is the XFL still the thing? Are they
I don't
still
know if
around?
they're going to do it.
I know
The Rock owns it
USFL
now.
is coming back this year.
I heard
I
about
didn't know
that.
the
Yeah.
XFL was coming back, but the
Yeah,
USFL.
the Rock owns the XFL now.
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I heard of a big NFL guy that's going to the USFL, but I can't remember who it was now.
Yeah, but the XFL is not coming back till 2023.
Barry
Okay.
Sanders. No, I'm just kidding.
So check it out, guys. I got lucky
Tom Brady.
this past weekend and did a seminar with Robbie Eagle, aka the Maestro.
Yeah, he's
Had a
good
really,
dude.
I actually got to work a match with him and ended up taking a bump off of him. It was really, really cool.
Oh, wow.
One of the
Oh,
most
okay.
soft. I've never met any. Like I actually had to ask him to speak up because I've never met anybody so soft spoken in my life.
Yeah.
And like he's just so down to earth because like I'm a referee. All my questions pertain coming from the referee angle. I don't really have the wrestler that coming from their questions. So I'm I'm doing this seminar and I finally I'm telling him what's up and everything else, and he's like, man, dude, he's like, you don't get a lot of referee questions, and it's really cool getting questions from a different perspective. And
For a big guy, he can move too.
yes, he can. Oh my gosh, he showed the trainees about 100 different ways to get out, just to work out of a lockup, which was really, really cool. And
He's a great guy too.
man, yeah, he really was, and I had the honor of working a match with him. That was really cool. At the end of it, he bumped me, and I had to take a bump, and hopefully we'll have it up here in a couple of weeks. I'll have it on Facebook for everybody.
That'd be great.
And that's kind of how that's where I got the Iron Man thing is last week I worked for 2 different promotions and worked 11 matches. So the boys were calling me Iron Man. I get to keep that moniker for a week because then after that somebody's gonna beat it.
Man.
I am Iron Man.
There you go. Yeah. Speaking of Iron Man, have you seen that video of that guy that created the suit for the I guess for the military? He's got the rockets on his hands. He went from one ship to another. It's like a jetpack
No.
on his hands.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that was pretty neat, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Flew like
Had to be
Iron
on
Man.
target, I guess.
What's that?
Had to be on target though.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. He invented this thing, and I guess I don't know if the military is going to buy it or not, but it was a pretty interesting way to move troops around, I guess.
Mhm.
So that means they'll buy it because it'll be a waste of money and it'll cost all of us money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got all their money invested in $500 hammers.
There you go.
Yeah.
They probably buy some of these belts.
Well, no, that's how
what
that's what I say. That's how they justify spending for the rocket suit is the $500 hammers.
Yeah.
I have, I don't know, you guys deal with a lot of the re-leathering and restoning, but I have one of the rated R belts, one of the newer versions that's re-leathered by Ryan Stokes and re-leathered by Richard Simpson. And I get these guys trying to buy this belt for me for $700. And I'm like, do you guys know how to do math?
Yeah.
I mean, some of these people,
Like, you're not
there's
even gonna touch
nothing
that
wrong
for
with
$700.
asking. There's nothing wrong with asking, but my God, I'm not paying that. That belt's for sale on this. Well, you don't go off the sale price when you're selling a belt.
Yeah.
You go off the regular price when you're selling a belt.
Mhm.
And
You
then
know,
if you have it re-leathered and restoned, then it's
Adds to the value. Yeah.
more.
Yeah, but they want to just pay like, oh, that belt's for $379 right now. Then you go ahead and pay the $379, the re-leather and the restoning and see what it costs you. And then all the shipping back and forth.
Mhm.
And I just don't understand the way people think with, I got no problem giving people a deal and real good deals, but there's a certain, you shouldn't just insult people.
Etiquette.
You've been doing
Etiquette.
this a year,
Etiquette.
Yeah.
you've been
I
doing
agree-
this a
I
couple
agree,
of
Ben.
years or whatever, and then you're going to tell me that this is what it is. Okay, bye.
Etiquette is very lacking in the hobby these days.
Very. You want to say my inbox? I'll share my inbox if you want.
I thought that was Spark you, Ben.
Oh man, Russ
There's
triggered me
nothing-
with that one.
There's nothing they can say to you that I haven't heard 500 times in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Dan, he'll tell you this. He'll tell you the same thing that they go at him because
There's
these people just think you should get stuff for free.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy who I will not name who hits a lot of people up trying to buy belts off him for next to nothing. And he'll turn around and try to sell belts. I had to block him.
I know who he is.
Is that Terry Boykin?
I know who he is.
Well, I'm not going to name the guy, but I got sick with pneumonia last April, and I was sick. I mean, I was in bad shape. He messaged
first
me.
initial was
Said,
R.
Oh yeah.
okay, yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, Rob
Terry
Van
Boykin
Dam.
come up to me for 15 years.
Roddy Piper.
So yeah. So anyway, I was sick with pneumonia, and I posted on my personal page I'd come down with pneumonia, and I had gone to the ER. I was in pretty bad shape. Well, this guy messaged me. He says, "How you feeling?" I said, "Well, I got a little ways to go, but I'm feeling a little bit better." He said, "Great. You want to buy a belt?" No, I don't. I'm sick, man.
People are just unreal.
Yeah, I had to block him.
It got so bad. I mean, I think I told you guys one of the last times I was on this. I literally had to start tuning my cell phone and my house phone at the time when I had that off at night because people were calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning wanting to buy something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I said, can't you just email me or text me? You can't want it that bad at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I will message you later. Right.
Right. And,
Yeah.
come on. There's nothing you need at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my goodness. And I live in a mountain time zone. So my time zone is different
Right.
because everybody don't keep track of this time zone. So yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I totally
I like
agree.
it when people message me about getting them belts, and I'm like, I'm not a belt guy. I just
Right.
collect them, I'm not a middleman. And then when I point them, I'm like, well, okay, what are you looking for? Well, I don't know. I'm looking for this, and I'm like, well, how much are you wanting to spend? Because I'm trying to actually help somebody out.
Yeah.
And they're
Send them
like,
the
well,
right
I'm looking to spend like $100, and I'm like,
Right.
you're wasting my time, man.
Right.
Like First of
I
all,
got
I'm
this
not even
belt
a
tip for
middleman.
50 if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not even a belt guy. Like, I don't represent anybody. I'm just trying to help you out because I belong to a lot of the belt groups.
100
And I
bucks.
understand,
Jeez.
sometimes people like, because I put my face out there and stuff like that, and people think, oh, okay, this guy knows a lot, which I don't, but they assume it, and I try to help them out as best as I can. And then I'm like, yeah, well, how much you willing to spend? Well, about 100, 120
Yeah.
bucks.
And tell 'em to
just
keep dreaming.
Well,
Doesn't
I'm
I
not.
was like, man, you need to come up with about $60 more, and I'll send you in, cheap 2mm brass correction,
Right.
Well, I'm not a
and hope for the
middleman
best.
either, and I don't normally sell belts. I'm not a retailer, but I do buy plates every so often. I'll releather them just to kind of keep
Right.
myself sharp.
Sure.
And, so that's what I do. And this is for sale, by the way. And Ben, if you want to show some stuff you got for sale, you're more than welcome.
No,
Yeah, we're
I don't feel
buy
like pulling
these.
all that out right now.
Fair enough.
Ben, didn't you do a smoking skull for me? Didn't we do plates and a trade or something for skull plates? Was that you and me, Ben?
No,
Yeah. I thought that was you for some reason.
no. I Mark won the smoking skull from me.
Yeah.
I remember that.
A couple years ago.
No, I didn't do it. We talked about it. That was years ago, Russ.
I can't remember who it was.
You're picking my brain on something.
Dude, I do too
Nah.
many things with it. I
Poof,
can't remember
smoke
who's
start
walking
coming out.
away. There's all these people. They always want all these deals, and I can't understand. Here's my thing, and I tell people this all the time. Now, I've collected Reggie and Dave stuff, and that's when the belts were only $1,000, and that's a lot of money.
Mhm.
$300 is still a lot of money.
But it's
And
not
I-
1,000.
Right. I said something like this the other day, or even today. Somebody posted like, "Oh, I got to do this, or else I got to hide it from the wife." If you got to hide $300 from your wife or a belt from your wife, you don't need to be collecting.
Right.
But we were just talking a couple minutes ago about people that do this. Terry Boykin, a guy from Mississippi, he's done this for years. He will call me. He will message me. He wants a belt. Okay, here you go. How much? $600. Okay, I'll pay you Friday. Okay, Friday comes. Well, I got it. Okay, when? Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday comes. Where's the money? Well, all right, dude. Don't be playing me around. He just did it again this time. He wanted the 2 belts that Mark leathered for me. I was selling them for exactly what I'm into them for, nothing more. And he just kept delaying and delaying and delaying. Then he starts asking me about other belts. I'm like, dude, you haven't even paid me for these yet. And, people that do this and play that game, and then they wonder, like the next time they come to me, I go, how much is that belt? $1,000. Oh, 2 weeks ago it was $600. You never paid me for that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be nice to you after you dick me around. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say that due to unfortunate circumstances, I had to delay payment on one because of weather-related situations, because couldn't pay for it. It got paid for, you know what I mean? It was one of those things where it's like, hey, man, blah, 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 blah. I've only worked 2 days this week because I didn't have power for 4 days or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's understandable as long as they come through for it, you know what I mean? But if they don't, after so many days, they don't come through, then, quit jerking the chain and just move on. And don't and fortunately, I don't get rid of the ones that make their way into my hands. I don't, when they come here to live forever.
Sure.
Until until something happens to me or whatever. So I'm not looking to like get rid of anything. But at the same time, I'm not one of those people that if I say, hey, I'm going to do something, I generally make it a point to go through with it, because I'm a man of my word, and I don't like to waste people's time, because down the road, if I want to buy something from you that I see and I do have cash for it, and I've already done this to you, I don't know how many times or whatever, you're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, man. I don't, I don't want to do business with you. Why would you want to do that anyway? I don't understand people like that.
He dicked me around on a set of Reggie tags. He claimed he needed them for a promotion he was starting. And I got a set. One of my friends here, he had to sell his 3 Reggies, and I got them. And he asked me, and I told him how much, and he bought them. He said he was going to buy them. So I had them. I took the pictures, had everything laid out. And they looked like the national tags, the little cookie cutter version, like the WWF tags in 1985. Right. So we start talking. He's okay, agrees to the price. I'll pay you Friday. Okay. Friday comes. Can't reach him. He messages me Monday. Sorry, I had this. Took him 3 freaking weeks to pay me. Every day I messaged him and he gave me an excuse So I said, okay. So he finally pays me. PayPal. Boom. I have the money. So literally the next morning. Did you ship him? Did you ship him? Did you ship him?
Yeah.
Every day. Did you ship him? Did you ship him? So like I didn't respond for like 8 or 9 days on purpose. So finally, like, yeah, I've been working a ton. I got called in. I got this. I let 3 weeks go by. Now they were already in the box, ready to go, addressed, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, one night he goes, look, I'm getting a little pissed off. I go, it's not so funny when it happens to you, is it?
Mm-hmm.
See? He's like, oh, yeah, but you weren't out any money. I go, yeah, but in this business, because, he claims to be in the wrestling business, your word is your bond.
Bond, exactly.
Would you go into the ring and tell somebody something and you didn't do it? They'll kick your ass.
Yeah, they will.
You're putting your body on the line. When I'm selling you my stuff and you give me your word and you claim you're in the wrestling business, I try to take you at your word. But after so long of beefing me around, eventually I'm going to play with you too.
Yeah.
He didn't like that. I've done that to him a couple other times since because he's done that to me a few times. And like I said, he just did that to me on 3 belts this time too. Fine, which doesn't matter. I already sold him anyway now. But, when he comes to me, he'll come to me probably in about 6 months. And I told him, I said, the next time you come to me, before you even message me, you put $1,000 in my PayPal account.
Yeah.
Because I'm not talking to you. You're ridiculous.
See, once again, that's why I could never do that. I could never be a middleman because my patience would grow very thin.
I have.
You got any updates? You got any pictures? You got any this? Can I get the? When's my belt coming in?
You want to see my inbox? I'll
Yeah,
show you my inbox.
Yeah, no thanks, man.
I'll show you.
That needs to be a new
I'll
T-shirt
pass.
in the CBB store. You want to see my inbox?
Don't give me any ideas, Mark. I'll do it.
I think that's what Ichiban means in English. Want to see my inbox?
Number one. It
When you
should.
guys don't know,
You want to see my inbox? Yeah.
these
you know
guys all
what?
think you can have a life.
I might do that T-shirt.
There you go. I'll take one.
I say you've heard it in my lives. I've said it all the time. You want to see my inbox? I'll show you my inbox. It'll scare you. I can verify everything Russ is saying right now. This hobby could be fun, but with anything in life, there's always an ugly side. There's an ugly side.
Pain in the ass.
Oh man,
Well, this is not ring accurate. This little, it's got a tiny little flaw on the very, very tip of it that nobody will ever see. But
this thread is sticking out at the top, behind, and the back of the plate.
Off.
Yeah,
This is not the right shade of paint.
right.
Oh my God.
I call that the white glove treatment.
No, we get these guys. We get these guys that do this.
I just said that a little bit ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm reinforcing what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because they're like this.
You forgot the magnifying glass.
Oh, there's a scratch right there in the gap in between.
They're doing that to the shop replicas now.
Yes.
And
Really?
Let's talk about the shop replicas, okay? They're not the greatest produced stuff in the world.
No, they're mass produced. So
Well,
Right.
and here's what they do.
That's exactly what they are.
And they're looking at the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And they're complaining about something on the edge of the plate that nobody and their mother would ever see in their life.
right.
Mhm.
And
I'm picky about this guy, the backing guy.
oh, I love that.
And this
Yeah.
is why. And if I offend you, I apologize. Not really, but anyway, the backing guy. What's the back look like? When you display it, do you see the backing?
No.
Well,
Oh.
there's a theory here. Now, this is just me. On the replica belts, I can understand that because the screws show.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me correct myself. Okay, I jumped the gun. A lot of guys like to see that covered.
Correct.
Okay, I get what you're saying on that.
But on the replica belts, it's all the same.
Right. Exactly. There's screws showing on the back.
Right.
No, which replica they said that was covered?
The Dome Globe Fandu, the
yeah,
real
it
leather
is.
version.
No. One of the shop belts.
Oh, I don't know.
They covered the backing.
I don't know.
Is it the new Winged Eagle?
I think that's it. I think that's it.
But you got guys too that will sit there and wait on every word from, anything about a belt ever in life. They will sit there on their computer like this, waiting. They get every message that pops up on their phone. I get other shit I do during the day.
Mhm.
I do too.
I don't have time to worry about every belt ever done in my life. If I see it on there, just like all my friends with their podcasts. How do you have time to listen to that? Don't you work?
I have a job.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I work full time. I work 50 hours a week.
Well, they don't understand that I go to work at 7. I leave my house at 6:15. I don't get off work until 7:30, so I'm not home until after 8. Most of the shipping places are closed then. How the hell am I supposed to ship your belt when I tell you in advance, look, I work these days. If you pay me Thursday night, it's not going out until at least Saturday. Why are you asking me Friday morning did I ship it?
Right.
Answering Duarte's question.
I'm going to answer Duarte's question without saying a word.
I just did. Yeah.
I don't get it, man. What is it?
Yeah.
That's what I like about collecting the 80s titles, the belts, because back then they didn't have HD cameras, still or video. And so if I get a belt like the World Class American Heavyweight Championship, if it's close enough, that's good enough for me, and nobody's going to be able to prove me otherwise. So,
Yeah. And you know what else? The 80s belts, or any of those belts, none of them had the CNC. They were
right.
just
That's
Yeah.
it.
the way we loved them. We loved them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, here's my thing, okay? And I don't, when my friends come over and I show them off, none of them go, was that CNC or acid etched?
Right.
Is
Yeah.
the tooling on that 100%?
Exactly.
The guys that come in, my friends, because a lot of the guys that are in the business don't actually collect belts. They don't really care about the belts.
No.
So when they come over here, they kind of pop a little bit because they see that that I'm still a fan on top of being involved, and they actually they dig it when they come over. Not one of them has ever come up and said that's wrong.
No.
That's not right.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is the wrong collar. This is all they want to do is just touch them. They kind of hold them, kind of take it. I'm like, of course, man. Yeah.
Even when you take them to a show, people don't know.
No,
No.
man. Let me say this: my U.S. Magnum himself, it's autographed. I can show you. He popped on this, and this is just a Packy boot.
Yeah.
He popped because mine actually looks like the real belt, and the one that he had there, that he was doing autographs with, was not as accurate as mine.
Right.
And whenever he saw it, here he is. He popped on it, and he didn't come up and say, "Well, the snap box is wrong or the tooling is wrong."
Yeah,
None of
they
this
don't
is
care.
right.
No.
Yeah,
They don't care.
yeah. I mean, none of mine. This is, like I said, this is just a cheap Packy belt with. And one here, let me flip the camera. The backing on it is not very good. You know what I mean? The tooling is absolutely 100% wrong.
Right.
Got the snap box of doom right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he never once came out and said, "Hey, that's wrong. That's not the way it." He actually was like, "Wow, that's really nice. I like
Right.
that. Where'd you get that?" And I was
Right
like,
as you let the tip hit your other belt. I love that.
yeah,
I'm convinced they should put a video screen in that square box.
something. I mean, maybe put some fireworks in it or something. I mean, that's what
there
we're
you go,
moving
yeah.
towards anyway.
There's nothing wrong with trying to be accurate, but when people are taking still shots of belts from like 1984 or 85 or whatever, trying to get every little nuance of every little leather piece, okay, that's going a little far. It's just like, you know what? Like, if y'all know, Raquel Gonzalez the other night on NXT had some nip slips.
Oh, I need to start watching NXT.
Oh.
But you know what?
Missed
Here's the
that.
thing. Who in the hell is going to stop motion that just to see a nipple? If you do that, you ain't never seen a real nipple.
Oh, there's people out there that will, believe me.
It's
Yeah,
pathetic.
it's pretty sad, but
Yeah.
I just
But
want to
yeah.
say to those people, how long has it been since you saw a real naked woman?
Yeah, I got a feeling that maybe we're not seeing so many new belt days anymore because of that. Because you have a guy that opens up a belt, shows off, he's proud of it, and some guy comments, your logo's wrong or
Oh yeah.
Right.
it's the wrong lettering.
The belt police shows
Yeah,
up.
the belt police.
Yeah,
The
that's
thing is,
bad.
Yeah.
That's
TV belt
bad.
podcast, the TV
the
belt
old-
Yeah,
podcast.
I've rained on a few people's parades that were raining on other people's parades because
And-
I'm like, man, just shut the hell up and let them enjoy. Let them have their
Right.
day. Let them have their
Exactly.
Right. He had show balls enough to go on here and do a review and share pictures of his belt.
Right.
And
That makes
you
them
gonna clap
happy.
on it.
That makes them
Right.
happy.
Yeah. And that's what
I don't
happiness,
get
happy's
that.
And
supposed
just
to be
like
all
get
about.
some people that don't want people to pick up their belts, don't fold the belts, don't do this, don't do that.
It's his belt.
Hey, look, I spend my money. I wanted these since I was a little kid. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want with it. If you
Right.
don't want to touch yours, that's like paying to get your wife's tits fixed and never touching them. Sorry.
This thing's folded, but it's mine. I'm probably gonna be buried with this belt, so it's folded. Tony Thorpe, who I invited to be on the show tonight, but he's just tired. He had some work to do today. He just worn out. But he does a
Canadian.
live video almost every day in every
Yeah.
group,
Mhm.
Yeah, he does.
and
He shares his happiness. That's what.
Yes.
It is.
Exactly.
He's very. That's a great guy in the hobby, man.
He's a good
Yeah.
guy.
Yes, I like him. Yes.
I mean, when he first came into the hobby, he actually PM'd me and asked to do a video chat. And I was like, why me? He's like, well, I mean, I'm just going around randomly, talking to people. And we had a great conversation.
he's a
Like,
great guy. Yeah,
we spoke for a good hour or so. And there was no moment that was boring in that conversation,
Yeah.
He's a really good guy, man. Really good
He's
guy.
real good with action figures too.
yes,
Yes.
very good. With
Yes,
yeah.
he makes his own. Like,
And you know what's funny? He'll point out little flaws in the belts he gets, but he's very positive about it. He'll
Right.
say, "Well, this got a little mark in it, but that's no big deal." He's
Yeah.
real positive about it. He's not sitting
Well,
there trashing the belt.
The light heavyweight belt that he just got back, he got a new one. He's
Yeah.
like, well, now that the leather's redone, he goes, it wasn't a big deal to me, but I wanted it right.
Yeah.
And some people, it's not a big deal. If I would have had it, I wouldn't have cared. But to some people, they freak on that.
Yeah,
I'm like, I get it how you're spending your money, but it's hard to, it's just a
Well, if you're-
fine
if the-
line. But
Like you said, though, if you're going to be nitpicky about your $250 to $300 belt, then don't spend $250 to $300 on a belt.
right.
Spend the money and get it done right the first time,
Mhm.
because that way it's done. Then, like you said, you spend $300 on a belt, then you're going to spend another $300 on the releathering and another
Right.
$300 on restoning, and then the cost to ship it back and forth and everything else. You should have just bought it right the first time.
Exactly.
I have,
Mhm.
a lot of people, which personally I don't really see a whole lot of a difference in because I've never actually had a 4mm brass belt. I have all my belts that are 4mm or bigger are zinc.
Yes.
I do have some 2mm brass, and the 2mm ones obviously are very thin. Your etching is nowhere near as deep. But I'm sitting here looking at them, and I'm like, you know what? They actually don't look bad for 2mm belts. And and I know some of these guys that would be like so nitpicky over it because the etching is not so deep because it's
Right.
a 2mm belt. They would still be like, "Whoa, you guys have heard it all." I'm not going to
yeah.
sit here and beat that horse. I'm just saying, if it makes you happy at the end of the day, be happy, man, and don't let anybody
Sure.
else, ruin it for
Exactly.
you just because, it's not, the tooling is wrong, or the blue is not 100%. It's not as light as it should be. And
that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I see it all, and,
Yeah.
and when you're, and these guys who are the belt police, the self-proclaimed, the righteous, the protectors of all things fucking belt, excuse my language, but it makes me, it drives me crazy. But
I think
fellas,
there's like keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I think there's like a disconnect between us old school guys and, again, I'm going to like the new school with the bootlegs and all that. I think there's like a disconnect. I think it's, us guys, we try to educate and sometimes maybe come off the wrong way, and so everybody takes it wrong. So, again, for me, Milliken made the best belts because he was the ultimate belt mark. He understood and knew every nuance of all the belts. It's hard to get these guys overseas to understand some of that.
Yeah.
And everybody freaks about everything. And so when you get to that, you're trying to make people understand, but it's like they don't want to listen. They don't want to be told. They don't want to be educated. And so I think there's a disconnect for that. And it could be the way sometimes how we come across, like criticizing the belts. It's, like I told Mark about that TV belt. There's the one thing that gets me. But again, whoever wins that belt, I want them to have fun with it and enjoy it. If they ask, what's any differences, I'll be glad to tell them. If anybody asks me a difference, if I know and you ask my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. I don't mean to do that to take away from your joy. But again, it goes back to the whole, if you put that belt up there, be prepared because somebody's going to say something. It should be just, hey, enjoy your belt, have a nice day. But it's been that way forever. Even back in the Yahoo groups.
Michael, if you'll
ask for
address Michael's comment real quick, if you'll watch last week's episode, I showed off my cardboard and metal belt. I still got them.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, excuse me, that when you openly ask for a critique, that is different.
Yeah.
It's one thing, whenever obviously some people can't afford the nicer belts.
Sure.
And they do get excited when they get their NWA TV title that's not 100% accurate, and then they're just showing it off, and then some tool gets on there. It's like, well, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. That's one thing. You don't do that. It's another thing when they say, hey, what do you guys think of this? Is there anything that you notice that's wrong? And then you point it out. That's a totally different.
Yeah, because he's asking for help.
He's asking for he's asking.
He's extended himself to that, but
exactly. But a lot of times because I don't do that. I say congratulations. I'm glad for your new belt day. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it brings you. I hope you're having fun, and I hope it brings you a lot of joy. When people ask me, like, I forget who made the dome globe, but the actual globe on it was too small, but the belt was etched beautifully. And they asked they asked what was wrong with it, and I was just like, well, since you asked, I was like, your globe's too small. I was like, but I said it's beautiful. I said the etching's beautiful, and I'm going to tell you everything that looks great. Then I said I'm going to tell you everything that's wrong with it, and and I pointed it out, and I said, please don't understand this is not a criticism to say that what you did is bad or anything. I'm just pointing out that this is what you asked, and this is what I see. And I can honestly say that I think I'm qualified enough to speak on at least that one of all the belts. I think I'm qualified enough to speak on it. Maybe not so many at the other ones, especially I don't know jack about the WWF stuff, but that one in particular I do know about.
Rizwan Marza makes a really nice dome globe, but his globe's always too small. On that belt, that seems to be one of the biggest things that stands out to me, when that globe is just too small.
Yeah, okay, it was Rizwan. It was Rizwan's, and I even said I would own one if he fixes and because the etching on it is
it looks beautiful,
freaking gorgeous. I mean, what he's done with it, but the dome, it's so small, it's glaring. And I had to point that out.
And the whole thing of it is, like we just talked about, so many people lose sight of the fun. But I will say this, the ones that are truly the most vocal and really get nasty, they're the ones that have a financial interest in the other parts of it.
True.
And so when they get lippy, there's a reason. And look, I like buying and selling and having fun, but you shouldn't take away other people's joy just for that. Because with these belts, it's the same thing. How many people, and God, I know this is going to sound bad, but put up pictures of their wife and go, oh, this is me and my beautiful wife. What the
She
hell
got buck
glasses you
teeth.
looking at? You know?
She got buck teeth.
Right.
Yeah, you know, she cut down the tree in your front yard with them teeth. What?
Oh,
But
oh.
again, it's the same thing. You're taking away somebody's joy. They're showing off their family, who they're very proud of, and you're
Yeah.
making a crack.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not. You know, they didn't ask for that. They're just showing off their joy. And you're, you know, with the belts. And I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not. I'm guilty of it. I have before. I mean, just because when they start saying, "Oh, I got the TV accurate version of this," I'm like, "Whoa, that's
Well,
nice." Look
yeah.
how here's the U.S. title with the name like this big. You know, stuff like that. You know, I mean, like, you know, and it's not all the time that somebody's trying to critique. They're trying to help, but I think, like I said, it's that disconnect that comes across wrong.
Right.
Well, I think some people do set out to be very helpful, and because it's in print opposed to in voice. It's you can't read the sound of someone's voice. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And that comes across sometimes as sometimes being a little bit cold. I know that sometimes I type things, and before I'll hit send or whatever, I'll reread it to make sure it doesn't sound too robotic or too to the point of where I'm like, almost insulting, because I'm like, oh wait, I don't want it to sound like that, but I want it to be concise and clear without it being, without it sounding backhanded or derogatory, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
We've come to the end of our 2 hours, but before we go, I want to show something off. Jake Keel just commented about this mask. He is responsible for the logo in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to show you a bigger picture of it. This is it.
Very
He's
nice.
the one. He's one of the three that does the Brothers of Kayfabe podcast, who partners with me. And they also made this one, but I can't put it in the corner because you really can't see the detail. But this is a classic match. This is Ric Flair versus Kerry Von Erich at Texas Stadium for the world title. That's when Kerry had the claw on him. But look, he put the spinning the globe logo on there, or Wide World Best. Logo.
I just have one question.
Sure.
Which Von Erich was left-handed?
I don't know.
Kevin.
Kevin.
None of them were.
Did not
None of
know
them
that.
were. That's the
Oh,
claw guys reversed.
Wow. Never
I
noticed that.
just happened to notice that because I picture Kerry going down all the time with that right hand, and I'm like, that guy's left-handed.
I'll be darned. I never noticed that.
I just happened to see it because you pointed it out.
Yeah.
Now I can see that, but I forget the S on that belt.
Yeah.
we're showing off masks. There's my Patriot. This one's kind of old school. If you don't know who Downtown Charlie Brown is,
From out of town.
Um,
Yeah.
The Boogie Woogie Man.
Yeah.
this was actually made by Boogie's wife.
Oh,
I got this when I worked Boogie's show.
I got a message from a guy who I think is his son.
Isaac.
I can't remember. Let me look at my message real quick.
This was also made by Boogie's wife. Obviously, I had to get it because he's referee. mask.
Okay, yeah. What is this guy's
I'm
name?
sorry, but we've been talking about the best. The hottest chick ever in wrestling was Miss Atlanta Lively. Come on, we have to all agree on that.
Oh, I
Oh,
think
Okay,
no. Are
okay,
we
time to
talking- are we
go,
talking
Russ.
Kim
It's
Page.
time.
Kim Page.
Yeah,
It's time to go. It's time to take that green pill and go to bed.
Yeah,
Gary-
I was
Gary
gonna
was
say,
this guy's
you might
name.
want
Gary.
to put the liquor bottle down there, Dub.
Better green than a Bears fan that got to take a blue pill. You know what I'm saying?
Oh goodness!
No, it's Gary Valiant.
Yeah.
Does
Let me
he
hit
have a
that.
kid named Gary?
Hit the eject button.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to put that bottle down.
Yeah.
Patriot mask. Yeah, man, I got that one. I think I got mine from oh crap, High Spots. I want to say maybe High Spots. maybe.
That's on my list to get masks to get is
Jason?
the Patriot mask because I've been collecting masks too.
I didn't
lately.
really get into collecting the masks until one fell in my lap, and I got one, and it was a very very cheap Rey Mysterio mask. I think I got it for like $5.
Wow.
And I got online, and I was just happening to like go through different things, and I found High Spots, and they had the Patriot mask on sale for like it's normally like 25 or something. I think I got it for like $10 at the time, and it's a really well made mask. It's not something that I would probably want to use in ring. I don't think it's quite that durable.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I definitely, I don't know, man. Maybe you could. But if you want
Oh,
to get
see
like
this
real
one here.
masks, check out this guy named Mike Woody. He's a mask maker, and he's been going through some rough stuff. I don't know if he's currently making masks right now. That's nice. I like that
That's
a lot.
pretty. Very pretty.
Is that CM Punk's mask?
Punk's,
Yes.
yeah, it's Punk's mask.
Straight.
I want to
straight
get a
edge
superstar
society.
mask that actually has a sequins on it.
Yeah. I never got
Yeah.
into the masks. I just mainly
Yeah.
the belts.
Yeah.
Now, see, the masks for me aren't so much. I just see one. If I think it's cool, I'll get it.
Big
Vinny,
Van
I'm gonna
Vader.
watch your show when this
Vinny.
one's over.
That's a Vader mask. That's
My
like
ass gotta go to
Vader's,
bed,
like,
Vinny. I can't watch it till tomorrow.
I'm gonna watch
Let's
it later.
go, Vinny.
Yeah, he exposed another
Oh,
scammer
yeah.
tonight. I'm
And I'm gonna tell everybody
Right,
the age right
machine.
here. Everybody knows who this is. You know,
That's
The
a
machine.
machine mask,
the
isn't it?
machine mask. Okay, so all of us in here are over 40 years old.
Apparently.
Not me. I'm 26.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This gray goatee says a lot more than that.
I
Right.
think I'm the oldest one in here.
Yeah, I think you are. I think we talked about that the last time, right? Are you like
Yeah, I
by,
think so,
by-
yeah.
By 3
by
months,
a
Mark.
year.
Yeah. But I live vicariously through your guys' ages.
You know, and even though we're the oldest ones, the Bears fans want to use the blue pill. So
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm gonna end the show. We'll carry this conversation on backstage. But
Right.
I want to thank everybody again for watching. We'll be back on next week. And this show didn't go as planned, but it was a wonderful show. I want to thank all these guys for joining me tonight. Russ and James and Ben and Andy
Thank you for
Thank you.
having
and
me.
Dustin for earlier.
having
So we'll see y'all next week.
Sorry, Andy, you didn't talk so much. That's our fault.
He
I
was
think I
late,
did
but
that
he had a
to you
power
last
outage. He had a good reason. He got
I was actually good this
tardy
week.
It's an
slip.
hour, you know.
He got a tardy slip.
Gotcha.
Y'all have a great week. We'll see you next week.